Hello. Hey everybody. How's it going? We're back here again with another week, I guess, uh, of horrifying news for Brandon and the U.S. government in particular, but there's just been some funny stuff in general. Sorry, I want to get rid of that for
Only
now.
horrifying if you're living there. If you're not, it's quite funny.
Well, oh, thanks. Well, I mean, I am an expat at this point, so I guess I can't complain too much, right?
It's been pretty bad.
It's not looking great. Hey, were we late and gay? Yeah, we were a little bit late and gay. Only by a minute or two though. Oh, by two. Oh, by 2 minutes. I can't believe I was late and gay. Hello again, Theo Fox, and hello everybody. Thank you all for those of you who are joining us from my premiere that just ended. We have finally started to work some stuff out with Streamlabs. If you want to support, don't support yet though, because we haven't done anything yet on today's stream. But should I start by telling my story about what happened with PayPal? It's not really
Sure, if you
important.
want.
It's just really lame. I've had a PayPal that I've shared with my mom for 20 years because I didn't know that Dank was doing Mad Lads. This is the time slot that we chose. I don't know when Dank's gonna upload. Sorry. Well, that's gonna be messed up. That's not gonna help. Anyway, so my mom and I have shared a PayPal for 20 years because I used to go buy anime DVDs on eBay, and I've just never bothered to change it. It's the same. It's just the same PayPal. And then all of a sudden, as of literally after like our first stream that we did, not on this channel but on my second channel, they were like, there's some suspicious activity here. And by suspicious activity, it was because it's my social security number but my mom's name. So they just shut down my PayPal account. However, if you'd like to give money, Spoon now has made a Streamlabs. So either way, we'll get it all figured out. This is still all novel and new and stuff. But oh, there was some kind of noise that went off. Shoot, did it show up?
I'm assuming it's not on my end.
Did you make sure to turn off everything besides the donations? You're gonna have to check also, please, because Spoon, it's gonna be on your side that you'll see donations. So Spoon's gonna read donos if there are any. Don't feel in any way like you gotta do that. Just turn off the noises because otherwise there'll be noise, and I don't like the noise unless it's because if it's like if people are subscribing, that's awesome. But otherwise, it gets really distracting. Speaking of distracting, let's look at what's going on with Brandon. Spoon, I'm gonna play this. I'm just gonna play the wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst campaign ad you will ever see.
Yeah, it's
That's not an exaggeration.
I don't know, worst or best depends on your definition. I'm just
Wait. RLF says Dank has been hop-pilled? Hop-pilled? That's
Ooh, how interesting.
Oh, the Scots in favor of the British Crown. Oh, this is not
Oh
going
my
to go well
god,
for the
things are going
independence regime.
things are going great for us though, boy.
Yeah, because I know Sargon did
Sargon seems to be
did a thing
a
in,
little bit on.
he did a thing on the
board.
Lotus Eaters earlier this week where he
We
just said
watched
I'm
it,
kind of a
yeah.
lukewarm monarchist, and we're
I
like,
know.
yeah,
I know.
good Sargon, ha ha ha.
No.
Oh, by the way, someone
Jarnegi,
asked-
hope pilled and hoppa pilled are two different things.
a Hopper is a German. I think Hopper is German. His Han.
He's gotta be
of course, is
Austrian, isn't
Um,
he? He's gotta be.
German. Actually, let me look, because I'm not.
He's
I'm
gotta
not
be.
sure.
He's gotta be Austrian. No, he's German. You're right. I just would have expected him to be an Austrian. Oh well. Shows what I know.
No, yeah, that's
Everyone's getting based in red pin. Everyone's getting based and purple
everyone's
pilled up
getting-
in here.
monarchy. Bro. I spoke to Aiden about this. There is a weird thing that we have seen lately. It seems to be propping up more and more, and we're not really sure why.
Which is the monarchy stuff.
Yes.
Because people are tired of democracy, and they're tired of people talking about democracy while really just meaning fascism or totalitarianism. Because it's only democracy if our side only wins. Furious dances if he's
yeah.
lukewarm on it. Does that make him a hoplite? God damn, dude. Oh, you fucking got me. I really liked that. Oh, bro. Should we,
It's usually the Austrians. Yeah, because I think Hopper is with the Mises School.
yeah,
I
but
think
he is a
his
German.
books are listed there.
Any,
Um,
anywho, shall we open with Let's Go Brandon?
oh God.
All right, I'm gonna play it. Okay, ready?
This is a lot of cringe, but
It's some
okay.
cringe.
He's next.
Yeah, it is.
Broadband lines, roads, railroads, airports, freight rail, no lead pipes, delivers clean energy. Job. Network, charging stations, electric vehicles. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against the American people.
Midas Touch is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
A couple things I want to point out. All right, so that's hilarious, right? Woof. Hang on, get rid of that. That was hilarious.
The pain.
It's a little bit It's a little bit painful. Yes, it is painful, but it's also really funny. What the hell was that? Right?
What I don't get, and I've been covering the news every day for a couple of months now, watching this administration, and I cannot understand what, aside from totally cratering the entire country into smithereens, I cannot figure out, looking at them, going, why are you focusing on things that are not actually helping your polling numbers? I don't get it. Like, the country is screaming like, these are the things that are actually worried to people.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes out and just says, oh look, we're going to spend trillions of dollars, that's going to help the inflation. No, it isn't, you stupid old bastard. It's going to make it worse.
Well,
Government spending exacerbates inflation. This is like basic econ 101.
Yeah, and to address the chat, yeah, it is serious. The Biden campaign did not put it together. It was some other group. So I don't know if they are
Oh, is
secretly
it?
troll. I believe so. It's not from the Biden, because it says who. Hang on, it said who it was paid for. Let me bring it back up.
Oh, I could swear it was for the Biden campaign.
No, it said it was paid for by some. Let's re-listen to this. So hang on, just listen to this at the end to make sure that we got this. Let's re-listen to it right here at the end. It says, and by the way, right here, this stock footage that you see on the screen, friends, I know that's the same stock footage that from the site that I use for all of my stock footage.
Midas Touch is responsible.
Midas Touch. MEIDAS Touch. Let's look up who is Midas Touch. Hang on.
Tipsy Aiden is not cute, by the way. Tipsy Aiden says stupid shit.
Yeah, I do. So, I'm not tipsy right now.
No, but I'm just.
Did I say something stupid? Oh, I definitely said something stupid the other day. I'm sure I always do. I'm
What
always
did I
want
yesterday?
To. No, the other day when I was on Adam's session, I think I probably said something dumb. I mean,
Yeah, but you have to take in context what they consider dumb.
Yeah, whatever.
They couldn't understand that Sargon was trying to make the difference between science as a method versus science versus a religion. It took him like 2 hours to figure that out.
Yeah, but I like.
And the
Adam's
chat was
session.
screaming at him.
I know, but it's fine.
Yes, but if I'm being told to
I-
choose between Sargon and Adam,
No, I think the chat was mad at me for being drunk the other day, which I didn't mean to do. I didn't even ask. Well, I did ask to come on, but then I was like, I don't know if you want me to. It's when I was finishing up editing the video, and I was doing so many issues with that last video before it could go live. Anyway, Midas Touch is a liberal American political action committee formed in March 2020 with the purpose to stop the re-election of Donald Trump. So, what? The Biden admin did not make that heinous ad, but it was made by a political media group designed to get rid of Donald Trump. So I would imagine that they are serious. Also, yeah, how interesting that their name is Midas Touch. That's Rat King. That seems to have some pretty negative connotations. Right? Are they saying everything that they touch turns to gold? Because that's not like the actual, final moral takeaway from the story of Midas, now is it? 'Cause it's a tragedy, isn't it? Oh well. I don't know where. Well, we have a couple places where we could start tonight. I sent you.
I had
all
no
the
idea
links.
that was done by somebody else, by the way. I thought that was done by some of his camp.
No, it appears to be no
enough that his king would actually do.
did that for him. Just they do it for free.
Why?
Because they're ideologues.
Yeah, of course they do it for free. They're not really good at using payment.
All right. I know
No,
that.
especially not for that kind of ad. Good lord.
Oh no. So Psaki is in our thumbnail. Should we start with some of the stuff that happened with Psaki?
Oh god, yes. It doesn't matter how bad the country is. I'm earning 6 figures peddling all kinds of shite. Just knock back a margarita and start punching things.
Well, let's start with the mark. Considering it's in the thumbnail, let's start with the.
You know what they could do is get a whole bunch of punching bags and put her face on it. That probably would work for a few people.
It would be pretty.
I know.
Funny.
I'd knock the shit out of that bag.
So we'll play this YouTube video real quick. I believe this is the.
No,
the
ad was not a parody. The ad was legit.
Yeah,
it's not an official one sanctioned by his campaign or anything. But the fact that you have to do a campaign ad during a presidency, that tells you a lot. Just let that sink in. That is
bizarre.
a bit unusual.
So I don't want to play any of this whole video because our last video got struck, by the way, copyright struck. But we'll just scroll through a little bit of what Jen has had to say. I'm gonna have to do it, just a little bit of it.
Well, the past orders we have to keep fighting. Look, I think this week has been frustrating, devastating, angering, all of those things. And everybody who's been fighting for this, there's so many activists across the country who have been so central to getting to this point. I mean, just a year ago, there were more people who were opposed to filibuster changes in the Senate. So we've made some progress on that front, but we've got to stay at it. So my advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off.
There was one, I think she was Asian, by the way.
Wait, one sec.
Asian chick on it.
I know, sorry, I just want to replay because I know you can't hear this part. We'll figure that out at some point. But this is the part where she says, like, hey, if you're upset with the way the government's going, with the massive inflation, have a margarita.
Stop, feel those emotions, go to a kickboxing class, have a margarita, do whatever you need to do this weekend, and then wake up on Monday morning, we got to keep fighting. And what that means, Lindsay, is we have to keep talking to members about federal legislation. That's essential. That's something that can be permanent, that can make sure people's rights are protected. But we also need to make sure people are educated in states across the country about what their rights are.
Make sure people are educated in what their rights are. I mean, the rights that you're constantly trying to change right now? How interesting. Anywho, how funny is that? I mean, just a bizarre pivot of, inflation is record high, still not totally ending the COVID stuff, there's an incredibly insane border crisis, just drink a margarita. Now look, as something of an alcoholic myself, I understand. I understand the general sentiment. But that's not a real thing you can recommend to the American people of just get fucked up to forget that the world is falling apart around you. I don't know, what do you think, Spoon?
I would rather they drink and then not do anything.
Yeah, maybe just shut up. I mean, this is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, right? Yeah, the exact quote, just to reiterate, is my advice to everyone out there who is frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, feel those emotions, go to a kickboxing class. Also, by the way, what, like, liberal, coastal elitist? Go to a kickboxing class. Have a margarita. Oh, also, by the way, the research on, like, punching stuff to take out your anger and that reduces your anger, that's not good, actually. There's not good research on that. Actually shows it might increase anger and anxiety.
Someone who punches things as a means of exerting frustration, I disagree. I think that is a great way of relieving stress.
I'm just saying, I know that you do, but I'm saying that the research on that is not real solid.
Well, it's either going to be that or Tetris. For those of you who don't know, I play Tetris to wind down at an autistic level to the point where even Aiden is going like, what the hell is wrong with this kid?
It's really autistic.
It's so quick, it's just like, they're just falling on the screen. There's no delay anymore.
Hang on, I'm not on your level, but I got up to a not equal, but like also on an autistic level at Tetris. That being said, Psaki continued to do whatever you need to do this weekend, and then wake up on Monday morning, and we gotta keep fighting. For what? And what does any of this mean? So, again, it's just one example of the fact
word salad.
But people are upset, and they're not willing to basically admit that people have a reason for being upset. Just go punch something and get fucked up.
Someone is asking Tetris stream when.
You should see it. It is impressive. I would say that.
Oh god, I don't think anyone would actually want to watch me play Tetris.
I mean, I did.
Okay, no. I totally agree with Sebastian though. The only way to be good at Tetris is to enter a flow state. It's modern. Yeah, and I 100% agree with that because if I'm playing Tetris for like a while,
Yeah.
I do get into this point where if I close my eyes, I can literally play it in my head, and I can see the thing falling before it even happens. And yeah, you get to this heightened level of autism there. Yeah.
High level autism.
Yeah.
I've seen
You're just
it.
like entering the Zen mode of blockade.
Again,
literally.
I've seen him do it. It is fairly impressive, albeit massively autistic. So going back into some more Jen Psaki news. Psaki says underfunding of police is partially to blame for surge in crime. What? Wait a minute, I thought we wanted to defund the police.
Wait, are you telling me that if you take areas of high crime and you take the police away, it's going to increase the surge in crime? I'll be damned. I didn't think that would ever happen.
It is what a shock.
I know, right? Wow.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Monday acknowledged, this was on January 24th, that the U.S. has seen a surge in crime over the last 2 years, and that the underfunding of police departments is partially to blame. Psaki's comments came during a press briefing when Fox News' Peter Doocy... Of course.
That guy is a thorn in this administration.
Sorry, what was the exact quote that Biden called him? Stupid idiot?
Stupid
son of a bitch. Yeah.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
So I don't know if we'll... Should we play that real quick if I can bring it up if you didn't... If
you know what is the most...
Hmm?
It's like, this is not the same as Trump doing it. It's like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is why people hate you. You can't even apply your own standards to yourselves. You dickheads.
Well, it's unbelievable because for 4 years we heard incivility, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, well, like, oh, I know how he violates decorum. Oh, I hate this.
Yeah, he said inflation is an asset. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Right.
Like, dude.
Oh, no, he violates decorum. But here we have Biden calling Peter Doocy of Fox News, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Asking about inflation.
That's a great asset. More inflation.
God, why?
What a stupid son of a...
Okay, well, very cute for you, Biden, but like... Because again, the whole thing that's funny about it is that, like, I think it is actually, I'll give Biden this, it's proof that his brain sometimes works, because he could be satirical there. Because, I mean, he's obviously being facetious, right? Does it mean that? Do you think so? Or does he think inflation's a good thing? No, because he calls him a stupid son of a SOB, you know?
I find it really funny because the inflation thing has been going on for fucking ages and he hasn't done jack shit about it, which makes his question, while it may seem redundant to people like, yes, obviously it's really bad, my immediate response to people who think this would be, why the hell has he done nothing about it then, you fucking idiots? He just went, oh, it's really bad. Yeah, it's been going on for like a year, you dumbass. What have you done about it? Nothing. So for as stupid as your question may be, the fact that he's asking it means you haven't done anything.
Right, so just like, oh, don't ask me... Really what Brandon is saying there is, don't ask me that question, because I know that it looks bad, and I don't want to answer it. And you think... And
I'm not going to do anything about it.
Do you think that was a... Because people are saying it's a hot mic moment. I'm not sure if it was, or if he meant for people to hear that. Because
there is a mic. Okay, this is why it's funny to me because it's not exactly a hot mic moment because he's standing there with the mic in front of him. It's not like he wandered off.
He might have thought that the mic was turned off though because it was right after the press conference ended. And Doocy was yelling it to him as they were being escorted out.
He is very senile, by the way. So
no shit. I mean, like, I don't know, but, like, for all the, oh, I can't, the orange man is so uncivil. How can we allow the orange man to say rude things on Twitter? And then it's like, all right, well, you can call him a stupid son of a bitch, apparently. That's fine.
Yeah, because I found that funny because with Trump's thing was, if you woke up, you just scroll through Twitter and it was, oh my goodness, what is Trump saying so we can see the meltdown of liberal Twitter? Whereas with Biden, it's, oh shit, what dumbass things are you going to say and do live in front of a freaking camera?
Right.
And I said like, between the two of them, I will take Trump's one because that's a hell of a lot less destructive. in the grand scheme of things, because Biden, because I don't think, people may disagree with me on this, but I don't think Trump's polling numbers were that affected by Twitter, whereas what Biden is doing and saying is far more affected by, is affecting the poll numbers a hell of a lot more, because have you seen his poll numbers? This guy went from like 56, or the one I read today was 56 to 40 something now. I think it was 49, the one that I read before. So to take a 17-point dip in approval in a single year is insane.
Oh wait, yeah. So the full dip. I mean, Biden is the full dip, to be fair, but I believe the actual. Sorry, this is a different thing I'm pulling up here, but
Also, calling Rosie O'Donnell fat is not rude. That is based.
Yeah. We do have.
He's also saying it like it is.
I do have up the Democrats' nightmare polls. Speaking of which, before we get back into Jen Psaki.
Oh yeah, I did a video on that. That was really, really bad.
Right. So this is from AMAG.
God. Yeah. That's
so,
the one.
Of course, we went over it last week that the not Rasmussen, it was the Quinnipiac.
Yeah, the Quinnipiac poll was 33%.
33%.
Which is bad.
Virtually unprecedented for any president this early in his term. The average Gallup approval rating of all presidents in their January of their second year in office, going back to 1938, is 53%. It is unprecedented.
Yeah.
According to data from a recent NBC poll, Biden's support has declined from 68% last April to 36% now among independents, from 83% to 64% among blacks, 59% to 48% among Hispanics, from 61% to 51% amongst women, and 56% to a shocking 40%. Why is that shocking? Among those aged 18 to 34. It's just declining across the board, EMAC. I mean, that's the thing.
And do you know why the 1938 Gallup one is really bad? That's the middle of the Great Depression.
It's the Great Depression. Yep, exactly.
And this is how bad it is. You know what I found really funny is that no one has said that this is Trump's fault, because typically speaking, if the polling numbers are bad, you say, like with Obama, it's he inherited a recession from Bush, was the go-to for his product. With this, no one is mentioning Trump.
I've noticed that too. Even though they want to blame Orange Man for everything, they want to blame him for absolutely everything wrong. I think you and I talked about this. Where I've noticed that as well. Where like they're not blaming Trump for Biden's.
They're not blaming Trump for anything. No.
For his low polling numbers. I mean, they are saying, like, people just aren't giving him a chance, and people are expecting too much. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Do you know what I think that is?
Yeah.
I think it's because with Obama, his polling numbers and economic numbers were actually bad. With Biden, there's good metrics in their world, in the sense of there's good job growth. Supposedly, and the economy is going well, according to these people, but because they say, oh, look, there's a wage increase and the job growth is up. And you go, yeah, but your labor participation rate is not even half of what it was pandemic. Is outpacing your wage growth percentage points. So, yeah, this is not good. This is not a good economy. Then you get fucking Bill Maher, who I suck.
Well, yeah.
I hate that man with an absolute passion. Like, if there's one person I'd like to fire into the sun, it's him.
His weird Weasley pivots to have to be like, oh, we always were kind of critical of the vaccines, and I don't know where the hell did this come?
Sure.
No, like, and we're always kind of critical of the Democrats. No, you were not. You have run defense for them. You've run defense for the vaccines. You've run defense for everything for such a long time. I don't know. That to me is very frustrating. And it's really annoying that it's just like, oh, now we have to kind of act like we're being fair and balanced, because we always pretend like we are, but we're not. But they're not. They're not actually going to. I mean, Bill Maher, like, would a minor criticism of Biden. And he also did the same stuff where it's like, well, people just aren't giving him a fair shake. They're all sharing that same kind of narrative. It's like, people have to be more fair towards Biden. He's got a really rough time coming out of the horrible Trump presidency, except for everything has gotten worse since then. And people can see it. They can see it in their wallets. They can see it in their grocery stores. They can see it in their amount of personal freedoms. So it's not just like,
energy prices are sky high.
Precisely. They can see it. They mostly feel it in their wallet. They see how bad things are.
I disagree. I think smug can look good on people if you have something to be smug about.
Sure, when Trump looked smug, it was pretty funny.
Bill Maher does not look good with smugness because he's an idiot. However, Trump can look good with smug because if you compare the Trump presidency with this one, Trump can look smug all damn day.
Right.
Because he's better than Biden under every circumstance.
Yeah, going back to this AMAC article. But Biden apologists might say, surely, that voters still think the current situation is far preferable to a second Trump term, right? Not so fast. In a hypothetical 2024 matchup, Trump currently leads Biden by 5 points. Trump also leads other potential Democratic nominees, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. I can't. Guys, if you run them, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, Bill Maher said we deserve a recession because of Trump. Yeah, he said get a recession going because a recession or you lose your democracy. And then fast forward 4 years later.
Oh my God, we lose our democracy.
Warren,
There's that word again.
Yeah, we have Senator Warren on Late Night with Colbert saying, "I have an idea. How about we dissolve the Senate?" It's like, you got to be kidding me. Like you are screaming because we have to save our democracy, and someone just says, "Let's dissolve the Senate." It's like, you're an idiot. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's literal.
And you people are out of your minds.
It's Emperor Palpatine stuff, and I guess that's a good pivot if we want to move on to another article. But we'll get there in just a second because I think we should maybe go through a little bit more of this, the polling data. Even though this is all review, we all know this is all old stuff. But like, so what the Trafalgar?
Oh God,
group.
this is gonna be really bad. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, like the last 2 hours.
Oh yeah, we got breaking news.
This Breyer is stepping down.
Yes. Can you send me an
video
article on it? Yeah.
I saw. I do believe that they're just going to pass some crazy. He said they're going to look for an ID pick as an identity politics pick, and I agree they are going to. And the one that they're looking at
this is on purpose, yeah.
Is Ketanji Brown. Oh my, no offense.
Real quick, just for everyone listening, to reiterate what's happening, is that Justice Breyer is stepping down from the Supreme Court to retire. Yes?
Yes.
Now, this seems conveniently timed to get in someone way worse. And by that I mean someone way more partisan. That's what I think Spoon and I both agree on, is that that's the purpose of this pivot.
Yeah, agreed. And it's because they see the writing on the wall and they want to get a nominee in before November. Because if the very likelihood is the Republicans are getting ready to crush the hell out of the Democrats in.
Yeah,
it's non-existence by the looks of it.
The midterms and 2024 are going to be a bloodbath. From the looks of things, and it's not just, I'm not just making that up. That's the Democrats' own reporting, from their own articles, from their own reporting. That's how it seems to be from what they see happening. That's the writing on the wall. So it's weird, yeah, interesting that Justice Breyer is retiring all of a sudden. Most Supreme Court justices kind of serve till they die for the most part. Not all, but many do. So, Sketch says Biden's on record saying explicitly he would nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court if presented the chance. I'm sure he will, or just he'll find whatever most extreme partisan he could possibly find. That would be the most likely pick. It might not be a black woman. He might have just said that because he doesn't really care. Here's the thing. Most of these Democrat chills, they don't actually care about, representation or whatever.
Yeah,
they don't care about it. Look into the history of the Democrat Party. I mean, up until current, they don't care about that stuff. It's all about virtue signaling, and it's about getting people onto the Democrat plantation. So, if it's a black woman, it might be, but it's got to be somebody who's easily controllable and extremely hyperpartisan, like Sotomayor. That would be.
I'm looking at this woman's record, and there is something worrying to me about this. It's because it's not good.
What?
For one, she's a Harvard Law graduate. That's not good.
Nah, not necessarily bad, but yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just getting
started.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just getting started. She's a D.C. Circuit won in June by a vote of 53-44 with the support of all 50 Democrats, of course.
Okay.
Republicans who backed her is Susan Collins, Lindsey Graham, and Lisa Murkowski, who are all.
They're all mostly rhinos, yeah.
Yes, especially Murkowski. Trump does not like that bitch, yeah. And that's a worry. So now you see why radical and why Breyer is doing it now, because if they were to do this in November, there's no way in hell they would fill any Supreme Court seat up until the 2024 election, which at this point in time, Trump is going to kick the shit out of Biden.
How absolutely
Biden
insane.
could be dead by 2024, by the way.
Well, I mean, like, look, let's not fuck around the bush.
Yeah, Hubbard's compromised, I agree.
Well, let's not beat around the bush. Let's be real. Like, whenever some group is in power in the United States, within the partisan divide, they take advantage of the Supreme Court to put in the people that they want. I'm not going to pretend like that's not the way things work. Now, it's not really how it worked under Trump, but he was handed he was given a certain hand that put him into a position and an opportunity to put multiple Supreme Court justices into place that others have not really had the opportunity to do. So but this seems strategic rather than naturalistic to me, right?
Yeah, obviously, I agree.
Interesting.
It's funny because if I was miming this, I would just say, the last time Biden chose it up really, really.
Hang on, there's some.
That would be the meme I'm going by.
Sorry, if you guys, is Spoon breaking up for you or is it just for me? Because I'm hearing some breakup, and it might be Discord.
That's you.
Oh, thanks. Maybe because I'm streaming it.
My connection's
No,
great.
I know it. I'm looking at the Discord connection. The Discord connection is fine, so I don't know what the hell it is.
But that's worrying to me.
It's disconcerting. Why do they? Well, because they want to put in someone who is more. But how weird for Breyer to go like, I realize I'm not partisan enough, so we have to put in someone who's worse than me. Is that, or is he being bullied out? I don't know.
Would I bring back the Austro-Hungarian Empire? Yes.
Didn't answer my question. I see how it is. I'm joking. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why is Breyer doing this in your opinion?
Because they want to put in somebody else.
But he must recognize that. He must recognize that the point is to put in someone who's hyper partisan and can't make legitimate decisions, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't care. He's fucking retiring.
I guess so. That's horrifying, though. Be like, oh yeah, I'll retire so that you can put in somebody who is as someone who values law, and being like, well, yeah, okay, I'll retire, and you can put in somebody who is a complete partisan and has no respect for the system of jurisprudence.
The Supreme Court. Yeah, we did that. God Sotomayor.
Yeah, true. Last couple of statistics here. Biden's approval rating also bodes ill for Democrats. Chances in the House's fall. In 2006, when President Bush's approval rating was a net 19.7, Republicans lost 30 House seats. In 2018, with Trump's approval rating 11 points underwater, Republicans lost 40 seats. In the famous 2010 shellacking, Democrats lost 63 seats when Obama's disapproval was just a net 4.3. Today, Biden's disapproval rating stands at a negative 14. The story gets even worse for Democrats in the Senate, where a net loss of just one seat will hand Republicans control of the chamber, obviously. According to a model developed by Sean Trend of Real Clear Politics, that has predicted the outcome of the Senate Senate contest within one seat in each of the last 4 elections. The Republican-controlled Senate becomes the most likely outcome scenario once Biden's approval drops below 48%. That's horrifying, though.
Yeah.
That's
already like
favorable.
it's 7 points already below what he thinks it would require for them to actually even keep the Senate, let alone improve on it.
That is a favorable 48%, because other polling shows it as low as 33. So.
Yeah, so there's no hope in hell the Democrats keep the Senate.
Right.
Which means come November, Biden is going to be a lame duck president for the next 2 years.
Sure.
Because he's not going to get anything passed.
And it is funny that Biden says he just doesn't believe the polls. That's very funny. Very, very funny.
That's probably the stupidest thing that he said, because if I had any sense at all, I would say maybe you should look at the polls, because that's kind of showing you how shit of a president you actually are. But the thing of it is,
he's a senile.
But here's the thing. He said he doesn't believe the polls. I don't believe that because
he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but
Kayleigh
McEnany was on Fox, and she said that one thing that the Democrats, at least in the White House at the moment, have done a pretty good job at is keeping a sort of lid on the leaks, because the Trump one was leaking like fucking crazy. CNN report came released, and I would like to know what one she was looking at. And in public, Biden can say he doesn't believe the polls, but in private, he is expressing exasperations because the leak was a private conversation that he was having with someone, and he was seeing it.
Right.
But that confuses me because that makes me ask, who is controlling this guy? who is doing the PR campaigning, and what are they letting him see or what they aren't seeing? Because if I see that, my first question is, what do you think they should be seeing? Because if your approval rating is that,
they keep
what information is making them think it's so low? Right? Why is the approval so bad? I mean, we all know why, but the way that he phrased it, what's going on? And I don't know if that's because he's senile or stupid, or both.
Geez, sorry, I had to sneeze. I don't know. I think he's senile and stupid, but mostly the senility, I think, is the issue. But again, the switch right now, in terms of party registration, as here in the AMAC polling, the 14-point shift is the largest ever recorded.
Every time. You can never sneeze twice.
I know. No one else heard that but you,
so I
muted myself.
Every time. It's always more than twice. You're the only person I know. Everyone else I know sneezes in even numbers but you. It's weird.
Sorry. I sneeze in odd numbers, I guess. Oh, well. So things aren't looking great for Brandon on that kind of aspect.
How low do you think he's going to go?
I mean, I don't know. Like, they seem to want him to run again, and it's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, why do you think this is a good idea?
Here is my prediction, and I'm gonna make a bold prediction. He's going to be sub 30 by fall.
Oh, he's gonna be sub 30 by the end of the year.
Probably.
He's at 33%. He's at 33% in January.
Yeah, but that's just only one poll.
It is but I believe the Quinnipiac
I do believe. Yeah, so do I.
It's also from a left-leaning source. It's not, it's not a right-wing partisan source.
Yeah, Quinnipiac tends to be leaning left, which generally makes me go what is his poll? His polling is that high. I think it's actually even lower. Like even that AMAC article you're reading about, that is, even that one ends with his polling is probably lower than it already says it is. Because I think he's polling right now, actually, is probably like 32.
Honestly, yeah.
Realistically speaking, yeah. I don't believe it's like 42. Like, get the fuck out. No, it isn't.
Also, yeah, he's fallen off on everything because the only thing that he was ever positive on was the COOF stuff, and now that's falling off the table too. So,
Brad King asks, will he step down? No, I don't think he will step down.
Not in a million years.
No.
Let's
I do think though that whatever is backing him, China, is going to take him around the back of the sheds and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because just like if you were putting him up as an investment, the only thing that they're actually caring about as far as investment go is his son, because his crackhead son is where all the money is.
Well,
because he's the one flying. Did you know recently he came and said to the Secret Service, "I don't want you to escort me anymore anywhere I go when I travel internationally." If that isn't fucking suspicious.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I mean, okay, so we actually aren't going to really talk, I think, much about the Russia-Ukraine stuff tonight. I don't have anything pulled up for it, but we can talk about it. It's all very sus, I would put it that way, but, Biden obviously has... I mean, let's be clear, this is not a conspiracy theory, this is highly well known, that I know, despite the fact that the media all tried to hide it, that Hunter Biden was working on the board of Burisma, right? We all know this. He is working closely with the Ukrainians, and right now, Russia has 100,000 troops on the border of Ukraine. So, there's maybe a conflict of interest there, if nothing else, correct? Something weird is going on.
At least, yeah.
And Biden now says that he won't... His way of wording it was so bizarre. It's like, I won't, unless it's a minor incursion, just a minor annexing of Crimea. Who cares about that? That's fine. What the hell, dude? And I will say, well, go ahead.
I will say this is not a surprise to me that they would pull some, because for you guys that have been around, or probably will remember in 2001, you had the 9/11 attacks, and then that being used as a public event to galvanize public approval to push for the invasion of Iraq? And you had the weapons of mass destruction.
Act,
yes,
which is one of the greatest destructions of American civil freedoms in the history of the United States.
Yeah, but I'm not concerned about that. I mean, it was. But it's not. It's not that it's not important, but it's not important to the invasion of Iraq. And then that was the event used along with the lie of WMDs to push America into war with with Iraq. And then in 2015 or 16, when Clinton said the nuclear option should be able, and then she said we should have a no-fly zone over Syria. And then the general said, if you go do this, you are going to need 100,000 ground troops in Syria, and you are going to pull Russia into a war. And we just went, that bitch is fucking crazy. Let's not elect her because she's going to do some stupid shit. And then as soon as Trump won, it was, oh, look, he's a Putin puppet, and now the Ruskies are to be feared again. And I'm looking at that, and I looked at 9/11 and went, I can deduce the foreign policy blunder here 10 seconds. I can spot this, and I'm not even American. I guarantee you the rest of the population is not going to fall for this stupid shit. And then the whole media just blew it up, and I went like, okay, I was wrong. People are stupid, and they will fall for this crap.
This is okay. So this is my prediction, and I'm not the only one saying it. Everyone is saying it at this point. The war or lack of war, whatever we're going to do involving Russia and Ukraine, is the way they pivot out of COVID, because the COVID narrative is falling apart. They can't. Their ability to control people tragedy and destroy. Yes, they need. Never let a tragedy go to waste. So COVID was really what. I want to bring you all back 2 years ago and recall how the Democrats immediately responded to COVID, which was go party in Chinatown, right? It's not a big deal. But they immediately realized that they could politicize it, right?
I don't think they could do that at first. I think later on when the shit came in and went like, oh yeah, now we can.
Yeah, it took them a minute. Where they realized that, like, because at first, again, they were like, no, don't worry about this, don't worry about the coup, it's fine. And then they realized, wait a minute, we can totally use this to destroy the Trump campaign, to destroy Trump and to make people miserable. And make people's lives miserable as well. And when we make people's lives miserable, they become desperate and they will cry out for help. They will cry out for someone to save them. And I think that's what the Democrats are looking for now. And again, the only thing Biden has pulled well on was on his COVID response, which is, how's that going? New York has not shut down their mask mandates,
badly.
I think it was their mask or their vax mandates. Even New York, right? Like, it's not going great.
No, it's going really, really bad.
Was it not New York? Who several places, UK, it's over. Nothing else here.
Tomorrow all of the restrictions are dropped.
I went out to the store today, didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, sweet. Well done, you bitch.
How rude. But almost nobody was, I noticed. Almost nobody was. They were like a couple people. I would say that the I didn't take specific account or whatever, but I'd say the ratio of masked to non-mask wearing was about 90% people unmasked at the store. We went to several stores today. So, this is I live on a tiny island. It's not mainstream necessarily, but it seems that people were over this. They're done. They're done with it.
It says he lives in NYC and the mask mandates are back with a vengeance. And
I thought I just saw a tweet that said that they were going to end them. Oof. We're going to move into Quebec. We'll talk about Quebec.
New York was going to?
I thought it was in New York saying that they might, but I could be wrong on that. Obviously, I probably am. Because there was someplace else where I was tweeting something. Hang on, let me find my tweet. Because people were like flipping their shit. They were getting really fucking mad about it. About the fact that the mandates were ending. They were upset. Which let's bring this up because it's quite funny actually. Well, I don't know if it's funny. It's actually really sad that people, they want to be governed harder. Yeah, here it is.
Of course, it's minorities in a white country.
Let's bring it up. New York Supreme Court rules governor's mask mandates is unconstitutional. Governor Kathy Hochul said, "We strongly disagree with this ruling, and we're pursuing every option to reverse this immediately." Oh yeah, I do have an article on that. We'll get into that, into the New York mandates. We'll do that in a minute. I guess we're segueing into the COVID stuff now because it's kind of unavoidable. But yeah, so it was ruled unconstitutional. The mask mandate is unconstitutional in New York.
Yeah, but they're still going to enforce it.
I want to look at some of the comments here, though. Because you'll see... Hang on, I'm having an allergy thing. Give me 1 second. Sorry to mute my mic for a second, because I'm having some allergies or whatever. I want to look at some of the comments here. You guys can see them on the screen. If you can also... I'll send you the link real quick if you want to just look at, like... I said this to you before, though, Spoon, but, like, how weird this comment section is. So if you look here, you'll see people will be like, what's the big deal about wearing a damn mask, says Ed Torres. And the honest question is, and I agree with Duck Hat Gatto here, what's stopping you? You're not being mandated to not wear a mask now, are you? You're just being mandated that you don't have to. But they're freaking out that they can't control other people's behavior. There's
because they want to be tyrants.
They want to be tyrants, yeah. It's so...
And it's like you said, it's like a mask uniform for power, and now that it's gone away, it's like, I don't have any way to exercise that I'm better than everyone else anymore.
Oh no, how can I abuse and be a totalitarian dictator of other people? Oh, it's so upsetting.
I guarantee the people who complain most are women.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to find the tweet I sent you. Yeah, here it is. So this was in response to this. He may have deleted this tweet. Is it still... Oh, okay. Oh, no, this is in Quebec. No, we'll get to this later. Hang on. This is actually in Quebec. We'll move this over to our Quebec section.
Oh, God. Quebec is a shit show.
I have a whole Quebec section we can move into probably pretty soon now that we've begun it. But it looks like New York is saying fuck you to it. Good for them. That being said, people still want to be abused by daddy government.
Your chair is squeaky like hell.
Sorry, it's a leather chair. I'm sorry, I have a leather chair.
So is mine.
Well, mine's squeaky and older. I have a squeaky chair, I'm sorry.
Someone just said base because I said I think it's all people of color who are under a white person's rule, therefore they want to be oppressed.
Sebastian Plante, should I do a video about psychology of Karens? I actually have done one. If you look at my channel, go back a little bit, I have a whole video about the Karen psychology and what that's about. It's about authority, basically. But moving on, I guess we've talked about Psaki a little bit. Well, let's go back to that real quick about her surge on crime shit before we get too much into her horrible response to the surge on crime, because this is hilarious. Did you see this? Her responses to Ducey in particular on the surge on crime.
What the surge on crime is being caused by a lack of police?
Yep.
Wow, who'd have thought?
Who would have thought? Wow, you got rid of all the police. Psaki's comments came during a press briefing when Fox News' Peter Ducey asked, does he, the president, know that after a year in office people do not feel safe in this country? Well, Peter, I think if we look at the facts here, we have seen a surge of crime over the last 2 years. Would you agree with that? Psaki said. So what are you attributing to the rise of crime? Ducey asked. Well, I think we should be responsible in how we are reporting to the public what the roles are and what the reasons are for the surge in crime, Psaki said. Gun violence is a huge reason for the surge in crime. Underfunding of some police departments and their need for additional resources, something the president has advocated for consistently, though, through the course of his career, that's something we need to take action on. Excuse me? Really? I thought that we needed to defund the police.
I have a conspiracy theory.
I thought we had to defund the police. I thought that was the Democrat party line. We need to defund the police.
Mantra, yeah. It was for months now. I have a conspiracy theory. Do you think that they're making it so bad so they can ride it on the white horse of saviorism? And make it better?
Well, I thought that was going to be the case with COVID.
It's not a very good one.
But they're not doing it. I thought for sure that they were going to be like, oh, well, we'll just end all the lockdowns and pretend like COVID doesn't exist anymore so that we can look really, really good.
But the thing of it is, why I find that
Omicron would allow you to do that because it's not killing people at the degrees that things like Delta were. But they're not doing it. They're doubling down. I think that, and I've talked about this at length, but I think what happened was they psychologically broke people with COVID. They truly did. So I think that maybe like the administration kind of wants to be like, oh, let's walk it back. We're going to walk back COVID. We're going to walk that back as being like, well, we don't really want to pay attention to this anymore because we're trying to fix the economy a little bit. We're trying to make people less afraid a little bit just so that they're less miserable and wanting to, off themselves if you want to look at how rates on Livent are going for people. They want to move that back because it's terrible for everybody. But the problem is, the fear-mongering that has occurred over the last 2 years has created a class of people that are it's not that they're even afraid, it's that mask wearing and being a COVID ideologue is part of their sense of self. And once you make something a part of someone's personal identity, they're never going to stop. I mean, how can you ask them to, right? Like, it's their sense of self. It's who I am. I mean, here, I'll, there's no more... Wait a minute. Open this image. Oh, hang on. Take me 1 second. I said this the other day, but, like, look at this. How to do image. Oh shoot, where'd I put it? I showed that picture of the people who have all the vax tattoos, right?
Oh god, and they're all women. Of
course it's all women, but like, it's so bizarre.
I'm very careful with what I'm saying, because I'm very aware that I'm basically at this point white male.
You're what?
I'm basically bashing anyone that isn't a straight white male.
That's fine.
Which I'm going to stand behind.
Here, get up on the screen. These are the vax tattoos. I mean...
Oh. Why?
Like, just saying, this is... And they are all women, just to... I will... to be clear. People have made their vaccine status all related to COVID. This one woman has her vaccination ID tattooed onto her arm. And I'm sorry, but, like, that brings back some weird vibes to me. You know, about people getting IDs tattooed onto their skin. And by the way, Furious Dan, yes, people actually have had the Vax app QR codes tattooed onto their bodies. That's a real thing that has happened. Not what's next. It's already happened. They've done that.
Why? Why are you... Why?
Because this is their identity now. The vaccination status is their identity. That's what's happening. It's replaced their personal identity with this crap, and like, that's why they're not gonna. And the reality is that the Democrats did this in order to get rid of Trump, in order to fearmonger. But what you created accidentally, I'm thinking accidentally, is a class of people that are so terrified of this, you're not going to be able to tell them to stop. It's become part of their... When you get tattoos... like many people... This is just four examples. When they're getting tattoos about the pharmaceutical company that they paid for, well, indirectly, of course, with their taxes, to get this injection. And they're tattooing that onto their body. Like Pfizer, J&J. I can't comprehend that. And this is speaking to somebody who had seriously considered at one point getting a Star Trek tattoo, right? But like, bro, what? When you have some people who are this willing and this invested into this new social identity, I think they're gonna have a harder time than they imagined being able to walk it back and say, no, we're done with this now. This is over now. We're not doing this anymore. We're doing war with Russia now. This is the new meme. I don't think you're gonna work it out for these kind of people. Like, I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna walk it back for people like this who get these tattoos. They've made this. Yeah, no. They're the people who go into stores and do crazy things. Sorry, this is the wrong article, but yeah. So I think speaking of, we should probably just move on. I guess. Psaki, they're saying that.
By the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the people in the chat who say, how can you be of or how you can progressive but be anti-corporation? Progressives are Marxist, and do not for 1 second think that you can't be a Marxist and capitalist at the same time. Yes, because people seem to think that a capitalist is not the same as a businessman. A capitalist consumer is someone who likes competition. A capitalist businessman is someone who thinks, fuck everyone, because their competition is going to rival me, and therefore that is bad for my business. So don't think for 1 second that just because these people are ideological opponents in the ideological traditional sense, but when it boils down to it in practice, no, they're actually in. Capitalists will happily side with a massively uber centralized regime if it means that they can get the best out of it. So
sure,
don't mistake the two.
But also be very aware that the way that a pure Marxist regime is supposed to work is that you're supposed to incorporate the corporations into the government. So of course they're corporatists, because they just want the corporations to become part of the government and tyrannize them harder, daddy. That's basically just make Mars M&Ms part of the government so that we can get our naked green M&M or whatever. I don't know. It's all silly stuff. But the reason, it seems confusing, right, prima facie. It seems very confusing when you see, like, why the people who supposedly hate who hate democracy, that they want communism, they want to have an overarching state to take care of everybody, why are they also but they hate capitalism, why are they also so supportive of these big capitalist groups? And that's because they want those capitalist groups to be subsumed into the government and to become one and the same, so that they can show their propaganda.
Because they think because the state bought the big pharma enterprise that the enterprise is good because it's associated with the state.
Right. Anything the state does is good.
Which is stupid as hell.
Yep.
And then again, we're dealing with SJWs and lefties. They're not exactly the brightest people.
So, some of them are, but they get confused on. I think
they're all confused. They don't even know what gender they are half the fucking time.
Very true. Just to finish up the article on the police funding before we get into more of the COVID stuff, which you're clearly moving towards because it's always interesting. Ducey pressed again, noting the murder rate has reached a 25-year high and asking why Biden has not been more vocal on the issue. Psaki claimed Biden is working to focus federal law enforcement resources on fighting violent crime and has put, quote, unprecedented levels of funding towards rescue plans to fund more officers in cities. But you wanted to defund the police! Asked if Biden is considering any other strategies to combat the skyrocketing murder rate, Psaki asked if the administration should be focusing on something more than combating gun trafficking and gun violence and offering support to community policing programs. Most people who want to fight crime would agree that's the right approach, she added. At least 13 cities broke their homicide records in 2021, experts say. Staffing shortages from police retirements and resignations driven by a wave of anti-police sentiment, as well as bail reform, declining arrests, and hardships from the pandemic have coalesced to create a climate of increased crime around the country. How interesting is this? Now,
not surprised.
Cities that broke the homicide rate in 2021 include Portland, Rochester, Philadelphia, Columbus, Baton Rouge, Austin, Albuquerque, Tucson, Louisville, Toledo, and St. Paul. All 13 cities led by Democratic mayors.
That's not remotely a surprise.
Portland, Oregon rushed to refund the police after the city passed its old record of 70 homicides set in 1987 back in October. Like, what? Okay, I mean, how is this working out for you guys? Killing it, wow, right? You demanded to defund the police while you were rioting, and now it's like, uh-oh, that didn't work out great, did it?
I think it's because they want investors to actually buy all the land, because all the people fuck off.
Do you see how this is all quietly done, though? This stuff about refunding the refunding of the police was all done kind of quietly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, though. Because they can't exactly openly advocate for, hey, we did really stupid. No, let's tell people about it. That did look bad, so yeah, they're going to be kind of hush-hush about it.
Yeah, in November 2021, Portland City Council moved to backtrack unanimously passing a falling budget bump that included increasing the current $230 million police budget by an extra $5.2 million. The policy shift came amid both the surge in crime and the city's greatest police staffing shortages in decades, as well as in response to reform recommendations made by the U.S. Department of Justice. Other cities, including New York City and Los Angeles, have seen their police budgets partially restored amid a wave of homicides, officer shortages, and political pressures. Well, you asked you to fund the police, you got what you wanted, how's it working out? Oh, they quietly refunded the police?
By the way, that's not going to work out.
The 70 homicides, I'm guessing that's probably in a month, by the way.
Yeah, or a weekend.
No, Jarnigi. 70 homicides. That's very. Coming from Baltimore, that's got to be per month because Baltimore, I think, has something like 400 homicides a year. It's so in Portland, peaceful, hippie, perfect utopia place. How's that working out?
What exactly called? Those people are hippies in the sense that they're jobless and do fuck all.
Bruh. We should have maybe started with this, but I thought we'd move on to the U.S. Senate presents a long-term threat to U.S. democracy.
Oh God, not this article. This article, the Guardian one.
Yeah, I got it up.
Just read that article headline again.
The U.S. Senate presents a long-term threat to U.S. democracy by Thomas Zimmer. Now, we went over this last week where Stephen Colbert said the exact same thing, didn't he?
Yeah, but I just find that absurd because you do realize the Senate has been around for pretty much the inception of the...
Well, it's because we're a republic and not a democracy.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. The state is not going to collapse just because the Senate is going to be allowed to keep its filibuster. Yeah, I said this before, and because I suspect the reason why Manchin and Sinema is not going to nuke it is because they think, okay, the Republicans are going to take the Senate and House back in November, and
obvious.
if we get rid of the filibuster now, there is no of the minority getting any say because the majority will just crush them with massive numbers. So, like, yeah, this is not a good idea.
That's exactly why they want to get rid of the filibuster. It's something that the Democrats have long been reliant upon when they were in the minority to make sure, because that's the whole point. Yeah. It's a stopgap. It's a basic stopgap to say you can't run ruckshod over the other party.
The minorities, yeah.
Yes, over the minority. That's important. The minority should still have say in government. Would you like to read this article for a little bit, for a spoon? I don't know how much you want to read through. It's actually fairly short. I don't know.
What, the democracy one?
If you want to. I don't know. It's up to you.
Okay.
I can read it, or you can read it.
I have to zoom this thing in. Let's have a look here. The U.S. Senate presents a long-term threat to democracy, says fucking psychotic moron who doesn't understand his own government, apparently. Enabled by Democratic Senate... Two people who have at least sense for the time being. United Front...
Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, who are now the demons of the Democratic Party because they are Democrats who refuse to go along with things that would absolutely destroy their own states and would make sure that they never get elected again. Just saying.
Yeah, but Kirsten Sinema is lefty as shit.
Yeah, but she's literally only this is self-investment, right? She's only doing this because this is to do otherwise is political suicide.
Yeah, she's basically a blue version of Cocaine Mitch. Yeah, so there we go. A united front of U.S. Senate Republicans did a massive blow last week by blocking the Freedom to Vote John R. Lewis Act. Yes, the U.S. Senate, a place where desperately needed federal Voting Rights Act legislation goes to die, thank God for that, a spectacle unworthy of what Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin called the world's greatest deliberative body. Not so much, apparently, anymore. Raskin was referring to the Senate's reputation, not necessarily in an affirmative, but in an aspirational way. He wanted to issue a challenge to the senators to live up to this glorious notion. Ethical idea of the Senate as the world's greatest deliberative body is widely held among the country's political elite. I wonder why. The kind of American exceptionalism still very much warps the perspective of U.S. history and politics, as well as the person who wrote this article. What we really need to grapple with is the fact that the current situation aberration from the Senate's supposed noble past and true character. In some fundamental ways, the Senate is working as intended. You could just end the article there, by the way.
Yeah, it is working as intended, ding dong. Like, that's...
Yes,
yeah,
and
thank
then
you.
You'd
welcome.
be fine, yes. Powerful, undemocratic distortions in the political system that just nosedives right off the cliff in the previous sentence.
Yeah, I guess so.
And not by accident, but because that's what it was designed to be. Attention has focused on the filibuster as the most blatantly undemocratic tool of obstruction. Okay. That is not true. The filibuster actually makes it better because it says you need more people and you need a greater percentage of people to pass. That's more democratic. That's not less.
Yes, but the whole point is that the filibuster protects the democratic process of saying that you can't just run over the other group and run through. Yeah, you can't just say, no, you don't have any rights. the filibuster allows for a really minimal amount of protection of the rights of the minority within this democratic republic system. That's all it does. It just, sorry for my that was me moving my freaking boom arm. The reality is, like, this was not necessarily laid down in law, by the way. The filibuster just meant it came about, and it came about from a real reason to exist, was to be like, this is how we maintain the rights of the minority. And by the way, Democrats, if you get rid of the filibuster, you
become the minority party, you're screwed.
You will scream to return it in 2 years. I guarantee it. It is extremely short-sighted to not understand the use and value of the filibuster, which is there to make sure that you can just slow down the process of government so they can't pass ridiculous crap when one group is in power.
I said if I was the Republicans and I just wanted to fuck with the Democrats, I would just say as soon as you retake the House and Senate in November, say you're going to get rid of the filibuster and just watch them panic. Like, oh my god, the glorious meltdown. You just go, well, hang on a minute. You were totally for destroying the filibuster a couple of months ago. What changed? And just watch them just try and backpedal on that.
They're going to scream bloody murder. You know they will.
Troll. Of course they would, yes. But it'll be funny.
Incomprehensible. Because you know that's the way it always works. The Democrats have no... And I'm not in favor of the Republicans, like, if I haven't made that super clear.
No, the GOP is full of shit.
Right, but the Democrats absolutely do not play by the rules in terms of they play by the rules, quote unquote, sort of sometimes, but
they play by the rules when it suits them.
The Republicans don't flip flop like this to the same degree of being like we love the filibuster, that's how we were able to work, and then be like, no, get rid of the filibuster, it's not currently useful for us. What?
Not federalizing the erection of sorry.
You gotta federalize the erection, that's for sure.
Beat people with dicks all over their heads. But because they can't federalize the election process, which is going to heavily people who can do all kinds of shenanigans, because 2020 was totally fair and there was in no way any scheming whatsoever. It was totally legitimate election. It wasn't in any way filled with shady shenanigans.
So we have to fortify it some more.
With thousands of mail-in ballots at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's definitely totally a normal thing that happens when you have over 100,000 ballots came in after the election day. That's totally normal.
That's democracy. That's called fortifying the election. That's why we also now have to get rid of things like voter ID completely, forever. Even though the reason why we said we needed to do that before was over COVID restrictions, and now we're maybe dropping all that COVID stuff. But we need to fortify the election. Unbelievable. I mean, it's like, okay, let me ask you this question, man. Do you believe that all of this horse crap is just because they know no one pays attention to it? They know that it's not like political junkies who listen to any of this stuff. And other than that, they think that it's like, oh, no one will remember this. And someone said this in the chat. Yeah, Theo Fox said in 2 years, 90% of voters won't remember this. You're right. They won't. They'll forget. It's primacy versus recency effect. But by the time that this comes around to matter anything again, the vast majority of people who are cognitive misers, who aren't going to be invested or involved in this kind of thing from a psychological perspective, they'll have forgotten that any of this happened. And this is the problem with democracy, and it's the problem with mob rule, is people forget because they have their own lives to live, so they allow themselves to be, in a weird way, tyrannized by the will of the majority. Because they forget. Most people don't have the time or capacity or a mental space, and I don't mean stupidity, or I mean time to get up in your day because you have kids to take care of, you have a job to deal with, you have a family life, you have real stuff to deal with in your life. You don't have the time to listen to and pay attention to this shit. That's on purpose. Yeah,
because politics is kind of boring and gay.
Oh, well, I find politics fascinating eternally, and probably most people here in the chat.
I also find it extremely frustrating, though.
But I mean, like, also, hello, people in the chat. The reason you guys are here is because you probably also find politics fascinating. I think the reason I got so into politics is because, like, I was always into, like, anime and games and stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, this is like the most interesting ongoing saga that exists, and it actually matters. So this stuff actually matters in, like, video games or anime or whatever, which is so fun, but that's kind of the issue, is that most people don't pay attention.
I don't disagree. I don't think Dems will do enough damage to us to not fear reprisal. I think that they're doing enough damage that the fear of reprisal is rising.
Yeah, I think that is going to be what it is. They're afraid that things are going to get bad for them, and They have to be afraid. I mean, and by afraid, I mean, like, they have...
Wait, look at the amount of Dems who are retiring.
28.
Almost over 30 of them at this point.
30. Is it 30? 28.
I think it's 30 or over now.
Oh, yeah. So about almost 30. It was not 28 to 30. I don't know the exact number right now.
Yeah.
Dems are retiring.
Nancy
They're not going to
Pelosi's
run.
up for
Nancy
re-election.
Pelosi.
Oh my god.
I can't believe Nancy Pelosi's saying no. Fascinating, but like they're all dropping out. They're saying nope, we're not going to do it anymore. I don't know what that means, and you and I debated.
The woman
that,
is nuts,
like,
by the way.
Oh yeah, well she's but I don't know what that really means. The fact that they're all dropping out.
No, she's an alcoholic.
Well, I can't throw stones from a glass house there, but the reality.
Yeah, okay, no, you can because you're not the one running for Congress.
That's true. You're
not the Speaker of the House. I feel like if you're doing something where you need to be stone cold sober to at least pass like legislation that affects billions of people, I think you need to be teetotal.
Often when she's doing shit, it's unbelievable. Like when she's in.
It's hard to tell because you can either be drunk or senile. It's one of the both.
I don't know. She seems drunk to me. Just as a drunk, I can say that she seems like a drunk.
Or because the amount of Botox in her face is seeping into her brain.
Good morning, Monday morning. Yeah, she seems nuts.
Do you still have that picture of her eyebrows?
Oh no, I don't. Not my computer right now.
I think I might have. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but
or
if you guys know about this. But
yeah, she got an eyebrow lift clearly.
Nancy Pelosi is insane.
Yeah.
And
let's see her new eyebrows. Bruh, she got eyebrows on fleek. Oh my god, is this the best picture? This is pretty good. These are
Botox holding the shit up.
This is freaking eyebrows on fleek. Boy, like what is going on? I mean, you've done it wrong, okay? Was the intent to look always surprised? Because that's what you did. You look very surprised.
Get it, goddamn.
Oh
boy! Then she went on TV.
They look like they're trying to escape from her eyes. They're trying to run away. I mean, I would try to run away from Nancy Pelosi too, but whatever. Yeah, eyes wide awake.
Have you seen the inflation Pelosi eyebrows meme? No, but I am going to look it up right now.
Oh, okay, look it up. Where are we at? What are we on? We're on this one.
And Nancy, how about that extra set of eyebrows?
Yeah, Cruella de Vil brows. Romulan confirmed. Hang on a minute. Don't insult the people of Takashi like that. I don't appreciate. Well, I mean, Vulcan, of course, is what I identify as. Holy crap! Her eyebrows are so huge. What are you doing? That's real eyebrows on fleek, though. I mean, good for her. On fleek.
You know what's really funny though is they've come down again.
Because she probably had to have them had to move them down because she got made fun of for it.
I think it's because it was like a fresh shot, and then it just it was swollen and it just needed to come down to normal again. It
seems like she just did a huge inhale.
Yeah, or she did like a massive line of
cocaine.
You know, coke, and she was so wide out of her mind.
Ethan Macy
and then they come back down again.
Fashion? No, it's not. I mean, I've seen some eyebrows on fleek, but I don't know about that. That doesn't seem like eyebrows properly on fleek to me. Lucy, if I type in eyebrows on fleek, what's the first thing that shows up? It's an old meme.
Probably not Nancy.
I mean, it should show up with her because
is it gonna be a black woman? I bet it's gonna be a black woman.
Yeah, because it's a black woman meme. Now here we go. Like here hang on.
Of course, the word fleek is in it. That's definitely not a white person.
Look, well, here's a real example of eyebrows being on fleek, guys. This is what you got to do with your eyebrows.
Oh God, this is gonna piss me off, isn't it?
That's That's how she fucked up. She can get her eyebrows actually on fleek, did she? Now.
That's not fashion, Nathan. That's yesterday's news.
Yeah. You gotta get that double Neanderthal going on. Oh wowie.
What the hell is that? That's like a halo.
Yeah. Oh. God dang.
Not a white woman has really fallen.
Oh, fuck. Where are we left on the U.S. Senate presents a long-term threat to democracy? Also, those
I don't know.
Eyebrows.
We got distracted by Pelosi's fucking eyebrows.
I think we were at let's be specific about how undemocratic an institution this is. Oh my god, did we read this part? It's best captured in numbers. In the current 50-50 Senate, Democrat senators represent 40 million more voters by about 240. 70%, 2040, excuse me. 70% of the country will be represented by just about 30 senators, while less than 1/3 of the electorate will get to determine 70 out of 100 members of the Senate. That's why it's a republic, homie. Did you forget?
Yeah.
This is the same argument that Colbert is making. Isn't it interesting when all the politics align? You know what I mean? When they all...
It's almost like they're all being told to do the same thing.
Wow, isn't it interesting when they all have the same narrative at the same time? How cool.
Yeah, it's almost like there's like this weird body of elites who tell them what to say.
No.
Yeah, it's almost
of course
that.
Not.
Yeah.
No, never.
Yeah.
That only happens with Russian bots.
Yeah. Of which I've been called one. Yes. Let it be known to everyone here that I actually work for the Russians. I'm a big fan of Putin, and I do what he tells me to do.
And, I don't know. I've now heard your Irish accent. I'm not sure. I don't doubt that shit, man.
I'm a double agent. I can do multiple accents.
Oh, right. Oh, that's it. Oh, you're a fucking spy, dude. That's why you can do all the different accents. Holy shit. I've been duped the whole time.
Yes.
The issue of disproportionate...
That whiskey I told you...
Actually, you know what? I think in a little bit, I think I'm going to have a little tiny shot of that whiskey because it is fantastic. It's so good.
For those of you who are wondering what the whiskey is, there's a whiskey called Balcones Texas Single Malt. If you can get it, do buy it. It is not a cheap whiskey, but there's a reason why it's not a cheap whiskey. It's because it's a really damn good whiskey.
It's a very good whiskey. I'll find a picture of it.
Cockney! Yeah, I'm not going to do a Cockney accent. I probably could, but I can't think of it on the top of my head.
Oh, that's not... Here we go. Can I see this?
Irish spies are called Dublin agents.
Oh, don't look at how much it costs. It's not that bad, actually. It's actually not. It could be way worse. But this is the whiskey that Spoon encouraged me to get, and it is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend as well.
Yeah.
I might have a shot in a minute.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, sure. We're not gonna do the joke.
That's the name of the whiskey.
Let's we're gonna continue on the COVID narrative, I think, right now, aren't we?
It's a charming accent that makes a man devious. No, it's not a bourbon. It's a single malt.
Yeah, some things to go through.
I don't think my accent makes me devious.
It's very devious.
I think nobody's out there. You. I don't think it's devious. I think it makes me
It's because he doesn't want everyone to know his natural fucking Irish accent that makes him sound like a bumpkin. That's why.
Oh, fuck you.
You fucking receive pronunciation ass, homie.
Swear to God, don't make me fucking read the rest of the article in that accent. No, I'm not doing it.
No, don't do it.
Before a whole bloody chat says, do an Irish accent.
Oh, like, he should at some point. He's gonna have to. The issue of disproportionate representation...
Aiden has told me I need to do a piss-taking accent where I just kind of make fun of the Irish. Well, it's not really make fun of, but just do the accent for the win funsies. You
gotta do one video where you just do it in your Irish accent. It'd be really funny.
Well, Glenn Farkless got myself preferably Asian sherry class. Isn't Glenn Farkless usually Asian sherry?
Wait, stop. What are we? We're in the middle of this Guardian article.
There's whiskey that's more important. Also, fuck the Guardian. Someone just asked, is Glenn Farkless is Speyside, so Speyside is usually Asian cherry. It's either Asian cherry or bourbon. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because if I see whiskey, I have to respond with whiskey things because I'm a whiskey boy. So
I know. You forced me. You forced me at gunpoint. What?
I didn't force you to buy gunpoint. Just because it says Texas doesn't mean there was a gun involved.
Yeah, there was a gun involved.
Bullshit.
All right, we're continuing with the article. The issue of disproportionate representation is deeply intertwined with the problem of white Christian patriarchal rule.
Oh
my God, the Guardian. The Senate privileges conservative white voters who dominate in small, less populous states. It is biased towards white people, with or without the filibuster. Here are two more numbers everyone should know. Out of 2,000 U.S. senators in the country's history, 11 have been black. More than 150 years since the Civil War, more than half the century since the civil rights legislation of the 1960s. 11 black senators. Oh, I'm going to die. And today,
I have a question.
Yeah. What's good?
Why is it that there's only been 11 black senators? There's been virtually no Asians, but Asian kicked the shit out of blacks
and nobody
in virtually
cares.
every metric except crime.
Where's the anger about the lack of Asian senators? Where? Oh, because you don't actually care about racial representation? This is all political theater. That's why. Oh, how weird. Oh no, fucking activates my almonds.
No. The reason is because the Asians are too busy to putting in fucking work.
Oh, obviously.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, like
sure.
like if you guys look at America's history, for example, the only group that sought, well, not really sought, but had political power before they had sort of.
I don't know. I think that
in
rooftop
America.
Koreans took some political action. I'll put it that way.
No. The ones that were the Irish, because the Irish had political experience when they came over to the Americas, whereas the other groups did not. Like there weren't a lot of, like, most of the people represented in like the Lower East Side of Manhattan that had Jewish representation, they were represented by the Irish for the most part. Same with the Italians. So this whole idea of we need to seek political power before we can get economic power is complete bullshit.
Well, in general, though, also, this is kind of a ridiculous statement. Like, this is asking for equality of outcome. What if black people don't want to run for government? And also they say, as to date, 58 women have served in the Senate. More than a century since Congress passed the 19th Amendment. By the way, I've repealed that. Finally granting
and
women...
all gay.
The reality is that, like, what do you want?
Like Tim Scott, he's based.
You want... So you're asking for equal outcome after 250 years. And I know it's 150, but 150 years since the Civil War, but it's been 60 since the Civil Rights Act. And I'm not saying that that's fair. It's only been 11 black senators. But did you ever think to consider that maybe black people and women don't necessarily want to go into politics to the same degree? And also understanding that, okay, 11 black senators in 60 years, over the course, let's do the, hang on.
Aiden, this is like really racist to say that no one that isn't white can get in politics. That's like really offensive.
So we're over, okay, 150 years. So, 2,000. There have been 2,000 senators, about 2,000 senators throughout the U.S. history, over the course of 150 years. So it's 13 per year, about that, and then 11 since 1960. It's, considering the fact that black people make up 13% of the population, it's actually completely representative. Just from a basic statistics, basic numbers. Why can't people do basic numbers? Do basics, like, just take out a calculator and do it. It takes 10 seconds.
Because they're not Asian.
Oh no. So frustrating, man.
Only Asians can do maths.
Am I honorary Asian?
I didn't say speak Japanese.
No, because if I do, everyone gets mad. Yeah.
Let's speak Japanese.
Everyone gets really mad.
Dude, half the chat sport an erection when you do Japanese accent.
Dekimasen. Waroi. The legislation Republicans are blocking.
He does this all the time, by the way.
I don't understand.
How do you say give me a glass of whiskey in Japanese?
A glass of whiskey. We just say, whiskey onegai. Onegaishimasu. You know? Whiskey onegaishimasu. You have to say whiskey because the W doesn't really work. Whiskey. Yeah, onegaishimasu.
Sounds like someone drunk trying to say whiskey. With no teeth.
Alright. The legislation Republicans are blocking in the Senate is the minimum needed to resist the state-level authoritarian onslaught on the system. My god, I can read the soy in these kinds of articles. But beyond such...
You not just find it really funny that they say that the state challenging the federal government, which is way fucking bigger, is describing the state attack as authoritarian. It's like, are you fucking nuts?
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of this is for the state to have more right than the federal government. Otherwise, the federal government will run roughshod everyone. That's the whole point of the country is states' rights, you fucking idiots. I'm not American, and even I know this. This is just like the stupidest argument ever.
Yeah, dude.
What are you doing?
Wait. 네, 퓨리쌤,もっと日本語をごせください。
But
もうちょ
sis,
っと、
Aiden
も
can
う
speak moon
いい。
language.
Do you,
Slightly
Sebastian, did
offensive,
you
but
say
really.
sorry, fuisku, more like that. Yeah, ne. Is it whiskey? Do you say whiskey? Yeah, about right, ne. That's all my thing. I don't know. I don't know. Be wrong. If anyone gets confused with the fact that I used to speak Japanese, I still do, kind of. It's been a long time. Let's continue. What? Sumasei. Alright. We're done. It's over now. We're tamaremasu. Okay. Okay, where are we at?
Whenever someone says the Senate is a world's greatest deliberative body,
Senate.
remember that it is deliberately and inherently undemocratic, an anti-democratic distortion that stands in the way of America finally realizing the promise of multiracial, pluralistic democracy. So much gayness in that sentence, I don't even know where to begin. The legislation Republicans are blocking in the Senate is the minimum needed to resist the state-level authoritarian onslaught on the system.
Yeah.
But beyond such immediate measures, a more structural approach to democracy reform is required. No, it isn't. It's because you're losing and because you're gay. And Congress's upper chamber needs to be at the center of those debates. No, it doesn't. America can have the Senate in its present form, or liberal democracy, but probably not both. Let's go with present one, because I don't like the phrase liberal in fucking anything, because it's not liberal.
Well, but liberal does have a meaning outside of how it's usually used. And yeah, again, it is huiski. You're correct. It's huiski. It's the best way to pronounce it, yeah. Correct. In chat. ごめん。もう一度お願いしますね。Please, one more time. お願い。
You basically just turned the chat into a different language, by the way.
Sorry. Well, you could do yours.
That would only make sense if anyone knew what the hell I was saying. Okay, first let me ask, is there anyone in the audience that's Dutch?
Nobody's gonna speak the filthy Dutch language. The worst thing on earth.
Shut up, you weeb.
Chat, what's worse than the Dutch? Nothing, correct?
Okay. Let me ask the chat here. What is okay? If you guys had to be gun to your head, you get to choose which race you are: Welsh or Dutch. Who do you choose?
No, we don't answer the. Okay, don't answer this question.
Watch now. Everyone's gonna say Dutch. No one's gonna say Welsh.
No one says sugoi desu ne. I don't know. Well, it seems I don't see any. I don't see any support for the Dutch. Well, I mean, in the words of
French.
In the words of
Dutch is not less a German.
I can't
Screw
remember
you.
what it's called. Shoot, what's that
Someone
movie
said that
called?
rather be Afrikaans. Thank you. There we go.
Shoot, Austin Powers. There's like two people I hate in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
Webbed feet Welsh.
They're
noble and dignified people. Yeah, this is before they were asked by the English. Say what you like, my people actually did colonization, whereas your ones were subjugated by the English next door.
We've gotten off track. We've gone off script.
Every time we have this argument, it's always myself, the Dutch boy, and this is one the Welshoid. Because the Dutch are superior and taller and bigger.
Yeah, okay,
and
whatever.
produce more shit, whereas
yeah, well, we can go ahead and try and sit in a swamp and doot to last out the Roman Empire. You can't
Shut up, one who was subjected to the English.
You can't doot as hard as we can, Numi. Are we done with this article that we're reading?
Let's see what it says.
Can you finish it? Because I have to go use the restroom real quick. 1 second.
Okay, here we go. The good news is that, this isn't good news at all, is that serious reform is imminently possible. No, it isn't. It's actually no chance of it actually happening. There seriously is no filibuster requirement in the US Constitution. Yeah, but it is going to be there anyway. And there are ways to alleviate the Senate's anti-democratic character by adding DC and Puerto Rico as states. No, that is not going to happen. The tension between the white male elite rule and... Oh my God, can you just see how faggy these people are? Aspirations of true democracy has always shaped the American project. It is inherent in the nation's founding document and in its political system. The existing institutional order is in conflict with the promise of all people deserve to participate as equals in the democratic polity. This is why voting is gay and I favor a monarch. And that situation requires a decision. Yes, but not by the senators, apparently. The world's greatest deliberative body. If it were true, it would be quite the indictment of the world's other deliberative chambers. Let's abandon such vestiges of mythical exceptionalism that make it harder to acknowledge the anti-democratic threats and deficiencies in American politics and culture. The fact that a shrinking minority of white conservatives is consistently being unable to hold on to power against the will of the majority of voters is destined to cause a massive legitimacy crisis. Yeah, only if you happen to oppose it, then you get really spastic and gay about it. And unless the system is properly democratized, i.e. mob rule, it is only going to get worse. It is going to get worse. The mob is going to be the Republicans, and it's going to be your boot, or your face under their boot.
Yeah, clearly.
you essentially... the Democrats, I want to say to the Democrats, you have 10 more months to live. And then the Republicans are going to murder you like...
Yeah.
A bath. And fantastic, and then Trump is going to run in 2024. He's going to win, and then it's going to be but this time it's going to be worse because the Republicans are going to have a massive majority, and I am going to laugh hysterically until I just like I cannot wait till the end of this year. Because the Democrats are going to get wiped off the face of the earth in the biggest majority since the 1930s.
Oh.
And I can't wait for that to happen because I want to see them cry. Just
No, that's
I want
so
to see
mean.
this.
Don't be mean.
No.
You can't. You gotta be better than your enemy.
Aiden,
And I don't consider them my enemy.
no,
They're
Aiden,
just confused.
no, Aiden. These people are tyrants. These people are tyrants,
know.
and they must be made to submit and take the boot of the Republican
Look, I know they're
to their
tyrants.
faces over and over
I
again.
know they're tyrants, but I still don't think that means we need to be.
So what is more humiliating than being tyrannized by the people you think are tyrants?
I don't want to tyrannize anyone. That's
I want to tyrannize a Democrat.
I don't want. No, I'm a libertarian. I don't want to tyrannize anybody. I don't want anyone to be tyrannized ever.
No, but you do realize just having a majority of Republicans is what these people consider tyranny. It could be completely fair, but they still think it's tyranny.
Like,
yes.
But yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, so that is what they
them.
consider tyranny.
So,
That's
yeah,
just funny.
It's fine if we just we come back and we're like.
These people will be
put them in
harmed by
place,
the
you know?
mere fact that Republicans are winning. That is what they consider hell on earth. These people are fried and insane.
Yeah, it is.
You
It is
cannot
ridiculous.
save them.
But it is ridiculous that if they basically see that they don't control everything, they're being tyrannized. Whereas I don't think that's
Yes.
correct. Just not you.
Yeah,
Not
we
being
know
in
it's not
power
correct.
Is not tyranny. Considering the way that the system works, and that's why we advocate for a different system. But that's fine. We won't get into that, obviously. I don't know.
No, I don't want to tyrannize the Democrats in kind of a legislative capacity. In the way that they want to, federalize the election and try to crush essentially any kind of checks and balances in the system. But I do want to see them completely melt down and realize that they suck. Because I want to. What I ultimately want to know is, can they reform? That's the big thing, because everyone knows, because you can see it with...
It's a leather chair, guys. I can't help it.
Because what I want to see is... Because everyone at this point knows, because you can see it with Breyer retiring now. You can see it with the massive amount of Democrats saying, like, fuck it, we're not running for re-election again. They can see the writing on the wall. What I'm wondering is, in the end of a massive hammering up the asshole, is will they finally pull their heads out of it and realize that no, the situation is not tenable and you cannot win any majority with this insanely stupid left-leaning message, because it's not what the party wants.
I think they're too partisan. Most the newcomer Democrats, people who are coming into the party, are mostly socialists, and they cannot let it go, because their whole point and their desire here, and let's be really clear about what it is they want to They do want to destroy the democracy and the republic because they want to bring in a communistic system. So anything that doesn't align with all of their beliefs is horrible to them. It's a nightmare. Whereas, you know, the conservative position, which is why the conservative position is often lame, literally, is that because we're just trying to like slow it down. It's a slow crawl towards socialism. And if you look at the entire history of how governments work, democracies inevitably do move towards socialistic and communistic systems. At least that what was predicted by Plato, and what seems to be the case. Again, monarchy comes next, but it's going to be a nightmare, I think, because these people, particularly young people, if you look at Zoomers, like I don't want to, if you ever looked like Reddit anti-work, they're people who they're like, I don't want to ever work ever in my life. I just want to sit at home and play video games. It should be my right. It's my right to sit at home and play video games all goddamn day. I want everything to be provided for me. And they truly believe this stuff, like this is tenable. And to me, I don't understand. I understand like why you think the system is broken and you don't like it. But somebody has to work at some point. They have to work. They do. And they just think they just don't have to. Like, the robots will do it for them. Maybe at some point, but we're not there yet, man.
Someone asked me, am I pro-guillotine? Am I pro-guillotine? Yes, totally pro-guillotine. Yeah, I am pro-guillotine.
I worry about... I really worry... Anti-work got deleted today? No, it did not. No way. Did it? Theo Fox? You're fucking with me.
The Reddit subthread?
No way. It's not a subthread. It's a whole subreddit. It's still around. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Whoa! Work closed while we do.
Is it gone?
Yes, it's gone. With brigading. They're being brigaded. Oh my gosh! Wow, thank you.
Is it because
people are probably making fun of them? No, I don't know. But I'll tell you what I think about anti-work though is that like I understand when people don't want to go work in their wagey cagey. I get that. Okay, wage cages suck. But I find it because bizarre to me. I've always enjoyed work. Now my work has always been fulfilling to me. I did what would you call it? Best PR and mostly PR work. For the most part of my life, I did PR and marketing until I went to doc school, and then I do what I do now. I was always found that fulfilling. I really enjoyed doing marketing and PR. I found it fun. If you don't like what you're doing, I'm sorry, but like I know that I have the perfect job, I guess, or the job everyone else wants is to do stuff on the internet. But even before I had this job, I always have enjoyed going into work. Maybe I'm a stupid wagey cagey NPC, I guess, and that perspective, right? I don't know, but I always enjoyed doing work because I felt like I was doing something that was important, right? Well, important even in my small way.
That's understandable. Okay, I will say for the people who are not fans of the guillotine because it's French, I can understand that people are not fans of the French because they have like they got the reputation for we surrender. That's the cliched French move. But they have the French Foreign Legion, which is not an entity anyone would fuck with. The French Foreign Legion.
Yeah, generally speaking, no. Generally speaking, no.
Yeah.
To me, though, I mean, let me ask you this, Finn. Like, do you understand the anti-work perspective? Because to me, I mean, like when I was in college,
I can understand it from today's generation. Yeah.
The first thing I wanted to do
it's more because they've been pumped into this idea of anti-capitalism. I don't think it's so much as an attitude; it's more as something they've been taught to learn.
Okay, so I work from home, right? Like I work from home. I do YouTube. That's my job. If I don't work, and by work I mean like if you guys don't know, and there's no reason you would, but I literally get up. I work all day on whatever it is. I research. I edit. I don't take breaks at all. And if I don't even allow myself to play video games because, I mean, a little bit, but very rarely, because to play a video game, like, when I'm playing a video game, I feel like I could be doing something more productive. I know that's not how other people feel. Maybe I'm an NPC, I guess, in that way. Maybe I grew up that way, I don't know. I came from a family that very much valued work. But I don't think, and I'm seeing this based on a lot of research that I did a video on this a couple months ago, that the research seems to indicate that people who are just like constantly engaged in hedonism, they're just taking in fun things all the time, and they're not working. Because even though I find work fun, but they don't actually appear to be happy, and their pleasure center gets blown out. I'm not, Noah Lomo, it is not Albert Mike free. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you need to find something in your life that is makes you feel fulfilled on a eudaimonic sense, not just a hedonistic sense. I know that most jobs suck. I get it. Absolutely, they suck. But if you're not doing something, I think it's not going to work out great for you, and I think you're ultimately going to be sad.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Like, I subject myself to all kinds of stupid articles because my chat thinks it's funny if I rage.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, I know that,
like my favorite comments is like, I like it when Spoon reads The Guardian so we don't have to.
I mean, just to, this is of course this is my own personal experience, so it is, you know, it's just you know, centered around me, and I can be completely wrong, but I didn't have a job for a while. I was waiting with some stuff that was going wrong with my graduate degree, so I went and worked at a Kmart, and I was so much happier when I was working at Kmart than a horrible job. Like, I've talked about like how bad my job at Kmart was, because it wasn't just like a normal working at Kmart, because like 2 weeks after I got hired, the Kmart got liquidated, so I had to like, oh my god, the stuff that I saw, because everything went on sale. People would like take a shit in the fucking just lines in the Kmart. It was, well, they took it I literally had to clean up shits in the dressing rooms. All the fat people clothing inevitably got full of cases of uneaten ice cream, which meant we had to throw all the clothes and shit away, or the clothes and the ice cream away, and the shit, obviously, literal shit. That was horrifying, and but you know, I enjoyed doing that more than sitting at my house and playing video games all day. Now maybe that's just me, but regardless, let's get into the issues in Quebec. What do you think about that?
Oh God, Canada. What the hell are you people doing?
Let's time for Canada. Oh, I'm trying to find the right stuff. Well, it's not just Canada, but things are not going great. Should we do?
Someone just said they want a tattoo of my character. Should I be flattered or worried?
Both. So
I'm not gonna lie. So this is a totally random thing.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine does have some of my artwork on his back.
That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, because when I was bored, this was years ago when I was still in school, I did this like tribal tattoo. This was back when tribals weren't gay.
Yeah.
And I just drew one. I think I still have a picture of it somewhere. And I think I did it in the back of a book. And my friend just thought it was kind of cool. And then he came back on holiday and he just lifted up his shirt. And I went, why does that look familiar? Oh my God, that's mine, dude. What the hell? And I'm like, oh crap. Like I'm 18. I was like 17 years old. My friend has a tattoo of something I drew on his back. That's kind of cool. I didn't even know that he was gonna do that. He just thought it was a cool design, and then he got a tattoo. So like, whoa,
Pretty cool.
I have artwork on like human body. Like, cool.
Pretty neat. Let's go through some of these articles on Quebec, because Quebec's not doing awesome. So this is from...
for those of you guys who don't know, Canada is extremely cocked.
Yeah,
like holy shit. What are you doing, Canada? Okay, can I just say something? I'm just on a rant on this for a second. And this is
you can say whatever you like, dude.
Anyone in the last 3 years who still favors like universal healthcare or like socialized medicine, you are the biggest fucking retards on the face of the earth. Well, I cannot imagine anyone stupider than you people. No, I'm sorry, but after the last 3 years of life on Earth, do you think any government intervention medicine, like, you are a moron? Like, just straight up stupid people. Like, you should not be allowed to vote if you're older.
My whole life, I've been like kind of. Whenever I talk to Canadians, they're always like, "Wow, you live in America. You don't have socialized healthcare. Wow, how much it must suck." It's like, well, okay. Now I've lived in the UK for 3 years, or about that, and I've lived now through socialized healthcare. Very deeply through socialized healthcare. Oh, dude. Would not recommend. At all. Not only do I still own a ton of money, because you will, by the way, like if you actually end up in the hospital, Canadians, you will still owe money, but also
Yeah, more than just your taxes.
I mean, like, have fun with the fact that the nurses don't have to care. They can literally just sit there. I watched nurses laugh as old people were screaming around me every day. It's in the UK. I'm not saying it's everywhere, but that's socialized medicine. So, let's look at Quebec government considering banning unvaccinated from grocery stores and pharmacies.
How to completely destroy profits.
How to be a totalitarian nightmare state. The Canadian province of Quebec is considering banning unvaccinated individuals from so-called essential stores that also offer delivery. The Quebec government is well, this is political. Let's be very clear. This is all political. It'll be one of the last things we get into. I got some. If you don't see, guys, I got a CDC study here. We'll go through it in a minute. Since September of 2021, individuals who have decided not to receive the COVID-19 vaccine are banned from restaurants, public events, and numerous activities. As of January 2022, the government will also ban the unvaccinated from liquor stores and cannabis stores. You can't even have fun, man. That's on purpose, though, by the way. Look at that. You can't even...
You know what you can do? You can raid it in the name of BLM.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. If you want to just knock over the liquor store as a BLM activist, that's fine. Despite the many restrictions...
Black Lives Matter and they need weed.
Right. Despite the many restrictions, the government is considering extending the vaccine passport to essential stores which also offer home delivery, including retail stores, pharmacies, and grocery stores. Mainstream media narratives have been blaming the 10%, that's all it is, 10%, of unvaccinated Quebecers for the recent increase in cases in the province, despite mounting evidence that the vaccine does not prevent COVID-19 transmission. That's not mounting evidence, that is completely... We've done that for about a year. The banning of unvaccinated from food, retail, and pharmacies would mark an unprecedented term in discriminatory measures imposed under the umbrella of COVID-19. The Quebec government has also admitted that the vaccine passport will require 3 doses in the near future, meaning they now have to convince vaccine-hesitant individuals to not only get the vaccine once, but to adhere to a membership-like subscription to seasonal boosters regardless of their risk profile. Now, by the way, and I brought this up on Twitter before, I'm not vaccinated. I have no intention to get it. But let's say that I suddenly was convinced. If I wanted to, and they said, Aiden, you can't go to the store anymore. You can't go to the store. You can't go out. You can't buy groceries. So you're gonna starve essentially. Well, no, we'll allow deliveries. And even though they're being like maybe deliveries, maybe even that they're being a little bit iffy on. For me to get fully vaccinated from this perspective would take, I think, 4 months, because it's like 1 month for the first, 3 months between the 2 shots. Was it 2 months between the 2 shots? And another month for the booster? It'd take 3 to 4 months for me to get fully vaccinated. So I just can't eat. I wouldn't be able to, live for 4 months. So what are you suggesting here? Right?
Me?
No, I mean them. They're suggesting, like, the people who are not vaccinated now, what can they do? If they said, like, you can't go out and get food, you can't go out to the grocery store, unless you get vaccinated right now, it would take you 3 months to be able to get vaccinated fully, to be able to be applicable. So you're just gonna die? You're just gonna have to, well, you're gonna have to not die, but you're gonna have to, not eat for 3 months, I guess. Right? Is that the...
Yep, pretty much.
That's not tyranny, no, is it?
No.
Interesting. So, one thing that kind of went viral is over here. Quebec bans unvaccinated from buying groceries at Walmart and Costco. Unvaccinated Quebecers over 12 years old are now banned from buying groceries at big box stores, including Walmart and Costco, while people wishing to access pharmacies inside those outlets will require a store escort. This comes as Quebec's new vaccine requirement for stores. We're gonna, by the way, this has been fact-checked, so we're gonna...
I have a way to combat this, by the way.
Yeah?
It's 11 years old and child...
Huh? Say again?
I mean, you can pay an 11-year-old to go into the same blood.
Hey, kid! Hey, kid, go
hey,
in
kid,
there
you want
and
to make $10?
Buy me a chicken. Like, bruh... While the new mandate explicitly excluded grocery stores and pharmacies, the Quebec government said they do not consider groceries to be Walmart's and Costco's principal activity. Interesting. The box store ban, despite statistics showing that Walmart and Costco are among the top 3 places where Canadians get their groceries. So you just didn't listen.
Yeah, people are just going to send their kids, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, they know that Costco and Walmart where people get groceries? And they're like, but that's not really a grocery store because they sell other stuff, so you can't go in there.
Yeah.
Quebec's health minister, Christian Dubé, I don't know, I don't speak your fucking language, is standing by the measure, claiming the goal is to protect, quote, both the vaccinated and the non-vaccinated. Okay, you're protecting the non-vaccinated by not allowing them to get groceries. That's protecting them for sure. An exemption was added for pharmacies located inside big box stores after pharmacy leaders raised concerns in a letter to the government. Unvaccinated people who wish to access those pharmacies must be accompanied by a store employee who will ensure they make no other purchases. Now, you can see the wagey cagey here. This has been debunked. We will get into it. The cagey here was originally reported to be like, you have to go stand in this little cage before you can go to the pharmacy. That part about having to be escorted to the pharmacy and then back out, that has not been debunked. That part, as far as I know, is still accurate. However, Walmart has come out and said, yesterday we implemented the vaccine passports at our stores in Quebec. Some pictures on social media wrongly suggested that the plexiglass dividers at some stores are to isolate the non-vaccinated customers. This is false. The dividers are for associates where they scan vaccine passports. Is this worse or better, Spoon?
Neither. It's just stupid as hell.
The meaning behind this is that the unvaccinated actually can't come into the store until they've scanned their or lack of vaccine passport, as far as I understand. Now, I'm not in Quebec. If anyone is, please let me know if this is an incorrect reporting. But this sounds horrifying, right? At least to me.
This also looks so stupid. You have this massively open room, then just some plexiglass you walk into, like as if that's going to protect jack shit.
Spooky as hell to me, man.
It just looks weird and dumb.
Right. So, at one point, the Quebec government even considered banning the unvaccinated from regular grocery stores and pharmacies that offer delivery. But it appears they have abandoned that idea. Dude, here on the channel, we could just go normally again. And in the rest of the UK starting tomorrow, by the way. Because Boris dropped it. What is wrong with Canada?
Yeah, but Boris is doing it for political issues.
Well, obviously Boris is doing it for political reasons, because he's about to get ousted if he doesn't, obviously. But I guess Trudeau feels so
emboldened
that he doesn't care, that he literally wants to make a second-class citizenry. I don't think it's a good idea, Trudeau, but whatever. Well,
he doesn't have any opposition. That's the problem.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, who's Trudeau's opposition?
Do we have any Canadians in the chat? I don't know anything about
Canadian
politics.
I don't know. Also, guys, I go ask Dev, but I made a mean meme at him earlier in my video, so I could ask him. But
you can maybe message him and ask him, like, do you guys have a viable alternative to a?
Yeah, I don't know if he knows much about Quebec though. I mean,
no, I don't mean
Trudeau
about Quebec. I mean just about Trudeau.
Yeah, I don't. Well, Trudeau was calling for more stuff the other day again. He was like, more mandates, more mandates. It's insane.
I remember him saying to people who don't take the vaccine are like racist and sexist. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, you progressive? Yeah. You know what I want to use.
Yeah, a few thoughts. Are you in Germany? Because I've heard things are really bad in Germany as well. I've seen some reporting on that.
Yeah,
it seems horrifying.
Germany and Austria. Yeah, this is why I said all the people that don't speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some
it's almost like the English liberals actually have a point, and that everyone else who disagrees with us is gay.
Maybe we did a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
While some Quebecers interviewed by the mainstream media appeared supportive of Legault's new policy, others took to Twitter to express their outrage. Cinema CEO and TV personality Vincenzo Guzzo condemned the policy, saying those who have chosen not to be vaccinated will be subject to humiliation. Let's actually... Can I pull up his tweet?
That's quite disturbing language.
Translate it. Of course it is, because this is vile shit, dude. He says, "You read correctly. Francois Legault turned to gratuitous wickedness, that of humiliating and unvaccinated and putting the staff in a very uncomfortable position. There is nothing scientific in it." No, he's right. This article frames it incorrectly. He's saying that's horrifying. From my understanding of the translation, I could be wrong. If you don't speak French.
I imagine it will be so.
Conservative Party of Quebec leader Eric Duhaime called on vaccinated Quebecers to not abandon those who are unvaccinated and to unite against a government that is becoming increasingly authoritarian. Here's his tweets. I can't read them. They're in French. A statement... Because I can't read them. They're in French. Do you want me to pull them up?
No, it's okay.
We can read it. Just be clear. What he
I was
said.
just wondering why you couldn't read them. I didn't know they were in
French.
Thank you, French.
I speak to all...
No offense to anyone who speaks French.
I speak to all vaccinated people like me. Let's not abandon the non-vaccinated. Today they are the target of this incompetent government. Tomorrow it will be us. Take that shit real serious, guys. It will be you. All Quebecers must unite against this increasingly authoritarian government. If you think it's not you today, it will be you tomorrow. A statement on Costco's website states that as per the Code of Ethics, they are required to comply with the law wherever they operate. However, it hasn't stopped Canadians from calling for a boycott of the chain, with some even cutting up their membership cards. I don't blame you. While Quebec is the first province to restrict grocery shopping for the unvaccinated, it was not the first to propose the idea. How is this not freaking people out? You can't go buy groceries? Are you kidding me? You can't go freaking buy groceries.
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. This is horrifying. This is truly horrifying. Now, again, here's the Ouija KG. They didn't want to admit that, but they did.
Did she just leg out?
Let's now watch the Quebec talk show celebrates young children saying, quote, "We should call the police on the unvaccinated."
Oh,
this is the worst. I'm just gonna play it.
Oh, the thing with the kids?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it right now.
Oh god, that is cringe.
It's about 40 seconds. Hang on. Let's go through it. Let's just play it real quick, guys.
Oui, tous les deux, on a une seule dose.
Ah oui? Puis est-ce que vous êtes d'accord, vous autres, avec la vaccination obligatoire?
Oui.
Oui? Oh. Ah oui, hein?
Wow. On dirait que je les ai drillés, Julie.
Oui?
I'm starting to think it's just designed to...
Sorry,
It's just designed to humiliate you.
Well, it's interesting, like, because the mother, I'm guessing here, who is a big fat hog, it's got to be their mom, says, "It looks like I drill them." Now, I don't understand French. So it sounds like she's trained them into this paradigm, correct? It looks like I drilled them. They responded so quickly. Looks like I drilled them. How weird. Continue.
Drillé, Julie.
Oui? Puis qu'est-ce qu'on devrait faire avec les gens qui veulent pas se faire vacciner?
On devrait...
Just to be clear, I just want to go through this. What should we do with people who don't want the vaccine? Now we go back to the child.
On devrait...
We should call the police.
appeler la police.
Ouh, oui, oui.
Yes, yes.
S'ils n'ont pas leur vaccin, ça
They
peut
don't-
mettre beaucoup de personnes
They don't have a vaccine. It can make a lot of people in danger, says this girl who's 7.
en danger. Fait que comme le
So, like, what the government does right now, we should cut everything from them.
gouvernement est en train de faire en ce moment, il faut leur couper petite chose à petite,
Little by little, till they submit and get
Yes, so
vaccinated.
Greta Thunberg.
jusqu'à temps qu'ils se tannent puis qu'ils se fassent vacciner.
En tout cas, on a des futurs politiciens à
Look,
côté
we
de
got
nous.
a future politician here.
Merci beaucoup à tous.
They're all clapping. What the?
Hey, I
Fucking
think
help
that
me,
you
dude. I
cannot
can't.
have a right
What
of
the hell?
privacy
Shut the
that
fuck
I'm when
up.
you're
Holy, absolutely shut the fuck up. What's your name? I can't remember your name. What do you think about that? It was horrifying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I mean, like, seriously, just children.
You're raising future authoritarians.
We said a politician, but they meant an authoritarian. We're raising a great new person who will align with the government forever. We should have people punished. They shouldn't be allowed to have any kind of protection. It's not a skit, Jarnegi. That's real shit. That's real shit that's going on in Quebec. And I believe that is child abuse, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Indoctrination at the very least.
Yeah. I could be wrong. Just to bring it up, though, in response to this, though, I found this tweet. So, apparently Quebec is requiring proof of vaccine for big box stores now. Anti-vaxxers are all up in arms calling for boycott Walmart and threatening not to shop there. Whereas the rest of the people are like, yes, this is the kind of goal we set here. Thanks for helping. Why I brought this tweet up is because the responses are horrifying. It's full of people, like, we could read through them, but I don't really think it's worth doing, who are, yes, they want it so you can't buy groceries. They want it so that you can't, so that you starve if you haven't gotten the vaccine. And as I explained earlier, if you want to get the vaccine now, it's going to be 3 months before you could be considered fully vaccinated at minimum. So they want you to starve to death. They want you. They want you to die, and they're being very open about it. That they want you to die. I don't know what else to say about this kind of fascism, but this is clearly fascism and evil shit. So.
Forget about bloody Russia and the Ukraine invade Canada.
Huh? Yeah.
I said forget about the bloody
right.
Ukrainians and the Russians invade the Canadians.
Right, it's right here.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, because the Canadians currently need help. They're run by a bunch of fascistic morons.
However, when we look to the New York Times, the unvaccinated are less worried than the boosted, according to a poll. So I want to show you this data from the New York Times.
And say that again, please say that again.
The unvaccinated are less worried about catching COVID than the boosted. So here we have the data from the New York Times. How worried are you about getting sick from COVID within the next year?
God, why is this so great?
It's so funny, right? It's funny only in a really sad way, right? Like, it's really depressing.
No, it's funny because these people are stupid as shit. Like,
yeah.
I've said this before over and over again. The biggest vaccine skeptics are the ones who took the stupid thing because they're constantly whining about the unvaccinated. And the unvaccinated are like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. It's like, what the hell is going on with you people? Like, how, like, oh, you should need this thing because it keeps everyone safe. But if I don't get it, or the other person against me doesn't get it, then I'm somehow a danger. Like,
yeah, well,
how did you get to this conclusion, you freaking idiot?
Dude, how's that work? Yeah. So, how worried are you about getting sick from COVID-19 within the next year? The unvaccinated, only 14% say very. 25% is a total of a little under 40. 20. I can't do math like that in my head. 40%, a little under 40% are worried about it in any way.
Asian is only taking the language, not numbers.
Hey, whoa. No, I have dyscalculia. You can't fuck with me on this. I sit around and do mathematics all day long. It's my entire job. However, so under 40% are worried about who those of whom are unvaccinated are worried to any degree about getting COVID. Those with the booster, it's 66%.
What?
Yep.
So it's more than half.
It's more than one half. 66%. That's the plurality. It's the majority. Of those with the booster, 66% are seriously worried about getting COVID.
That's insane.
Yeah, well, you're nuts then, because what are you saying? Are you saying it doesn't work? I don't know what are you saying by this? Because how interesting, right? What the hell do you mean by this? Well, I was able to find that fucking graph immediately, but the unvaccinated have some fear, but very little. The vaccinated with the booster have the vaccinated are more fearful, by the way, than the unvaccinated, and those with the booster have by far the most fear. You're nuts. You've been indoctrinated into a system that you can't understand.
Yeah, I agree with neon suspenders. These people are gone.
Yeah, they're gone. They're absolutely gone. And that was on purpose. And I think that, like,
swallowed propaganda, Hula Sinker.
Now the Democrats and people, governments around the world are trying to walk this shit back because they know that this is no longer useful. It's not what they want to do anymore. It's not politically advantageous. You're never going to get to these people. These people are insane. You've actually driven them nuts. We went over... Let's go over this real quick. Right, speaking of which... This is the early release from, this is a long, I can't tell you, you can see on the screen how many authors are on here. Leon, Dobra, Wia, Nelson, Luderlo. I don't know how you'd actually cite this. I would usually just cite the first three authors and then et al, but here's the COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations by COVID-19 vaccination status and previous COVID-19 diagnosis. California and New York, the most vaccinated areas of the United States, May through November of 2021. Let's go down. We're going to look at this chart down here. Sven, can you see this chart?
Probably.
I can't. I just can't. Okay. So the big spiky you see here, between May and August, that big August spike, these are the unvaccinated, no previous COVID-19 diagnosis. These were hospitalizations.
Oh, jeez, that's it now. Holy shit.
These are the hospitalizations. This is sad. This is scary. People who had never been exposed to COVID-19. That's scary. Hazard rate is up there pretty high. But I want you to look down here at... We're going to zoom in. Let's zoom in and enhance. Oh, let's enhance some more. What's going on down here? Vaccinated, no previous COVID diagnosis. Unvaccinated, previous COVID diagnosis. Vaccinated, previous COVID diagnosis. The people who are unvaccinated and have a previous COVID diagnosis are identical to those who are vaccinated and had a previous COVID diagnosis. And they actually do better than those who had not previously had COVID in terms of hospitalization. If you can look at the data here. Uh-oh. What does that mean? It's the CDC. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm sorry. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pick up the CDC data. Oh, no. I'm gonna get in trouble for pulling up the fucking CDC. But oh well, I did. This is literally a CDC publication. What does it mean? It's what could it mean, dude? Could it mean that maybe just getting COVID, particularly if you get Omicron,
Breaking.
has almost no symptoms?
Police uniforms and now brown and have SS for safe and secure on them and brought on their shirts. The police are now called the brown shirts.
What?
For those of you who don't know, that is a slam dunk on the Nazis.
Oh, I get what you're saying. What do you think, though? What do you think about this graph? How interesting. Look at the freaking numbers, dude. This is proof of natural immunity.
We already knew that fucking ages ago.
I know, but they've been lying about it for months.
Like I said before, like I knew this thing was bullshit like from the fucking get-go. The second you see the whole world doing the same bloody thing is when most people go, yeah, there's probably something wrong here.
Now, according to these data, natural immunity is identically as good as getting the vaccine and having natural immunity. They are indistinguishable.
Well, yeah, because no one was actually dying from this fucking thing.
No shit. But this is the fact that they're lying about the fact that this exists is horrifyingly. It's horrifying scientific misinformation.
Yeah. It's kind of gay.
It's funny now, because what you guys are going to see over the next couple of weeks is they're going to be like, oh yeah, natural immunity actually is a thing. But we're not quite there yet. We'll be there very soon. We'll be there within the next 3 weeks, I imagine. And just, call me out if I'm wrong.
Yeah, probably, I imagine so.
Call me out if I'm wrong.
And then Russia's gonna do some shady shit like saying we're not interested in invasion, and then America's gonna go and then shit's gonna kick off.
Biden wants to invade Russia.
It's not gonna be quite that bad, but
we have 2 more COVID thingies, which are funny. We have these 2 TikTok videos.
Oh god.
Well, the one TikTok video and the one video I have on YouTube. Because this is. Everyone's seen this now, and it's very funny. Because this one's hilarious. Alright, let's go back to the beginning of it. This one is. This is on an elevator.
That I've seen?
This is the one on the elevator. Have you seen this one? Where the lady screams at the black guys, and then she yells a very funny phrase.
Yeah.
So, this is 2 Karens on an elevator who are screaming at a black man who's not wearing a mask. Let's hear what they have to say.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Yo, stop!
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Get out! What are you guys doing?
Hitting him, by the way, hitting him.
Don't you have to touch me? Get out!
Do not touch me!
Get out! I'm not touching you. Oh, did you just hit me? Did you just hit me?
You just hit me!
You just hit me? You too?
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
Wow.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives
Black
Matter.
Lives Matter.
Stop! Yo, stop recording me. I don't know you.
This is the Karen get out of jail free card.
I'm not getting out. I was here
Yes, you are.
So this white lady, these 2 middle-aged white women are screaming at a black dude and telling him to get out of the elevator because he's not wearing a mask. And then scream Black Lives Matter at him. Because that's their holy That's their holy statement, isn't it? Right? You can't be criticized if you say Black Lives Matter.
Oh.
Yeah, you said the holy words.
Ah, God, I hate white women.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude.
I'm just going to say something very, very base right now. This is why I do not want any women near power, because if you give white women, especially power, they act fucking stupid with it.
What?
They're not responsible, and they are not fit enough to wield it. Go away.
I would say that the whole COVID thing has
Men
been
only.
basically like allowed Karens to do everything they could ever want to do, just to fuck up other people's lives. We're gonna watch another one. I have another Karen video here. If you guys have not seen this, this is really funny. Not funny. It's. Oh, whoops, not Tim. No, get out of that Tim Pool video. So this is. I think this is in like a Whole Foods or something. This is in like a Whole Foods or something. This woman goes absolutely freaking nuts. This is real. I should do this video, didn't I, Spoon? Oh.
I don't know.
Of the woman going nuts in the Whole
Oh,
Foods.
the Taylor bitch, yeah.
The Baylor, yeah.
That woman is like fucking deranged.
Listen to this.
I'm looking for stuff in his beard.
She's looking for stuff in his beard.
Do you hear those voices?
Yeah, I didn't quite know what that meant.
I did.
Except for my farting leather chair. Look, she's like, oh, by the way, she's wearing a Harriet Tubman t-shirt and like a weird, the back of her shirt says "Femme" on it. Her jacket, she's got this like band uniform jacket on, which says "Femme" on the back of it, and her t-shirt has a Harriet Tubman quote on it.
all we ask is in the middle.
I just looked over and I saw you dancing, and I just started laughing.
She's screaming in a grocery store.
Let's bring it on, buddy! Let's do this! Let's do this. Woo! I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I'm so
I
hungry.
don't know what the hell is wrong with that woman.
Let's go get those kids something. If they're hungry, I hope they can breathe. Wouldn't want to bring anything down in super spreaders. I bet you voted for Trump, didn't ya? Woo! Trumpers!
Someone not wearing a mask must have voted for Trump, according to her. She is following this person around the store.
Woo! Okay. Let's see this. My name's Karen!
Yeah, your name is Karen.
Yes! We're doing this. Woo!
She's so happy.
Stand up. Woo! Here. Jimmy Kimmel! Jimmy Fallon!
She loves Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. They're her gods, apparently. She's just screaming at random people. Like, I don't think she's drunk. Because she might be, but I don't know.
Let's bring this on! Let's go kill some children! Woo!
No, she's just a middle-aged white woman.
Just a what?
She's just a middle-aged white woman. Have you noticed something about this? The majority of these freakouts are particularly in this age bracket.
Oh, the
45 to
middle-aged...
60, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why?
I don't know, dude. I honestly don't understand it. Like, it's freaking bizarre. That's literally crazy stuff. Like, you're a psychopath, my dude.
Yeah, those people's minds are broken.
They have to be. We have a couple more articles on COVID. I only have one more, or two more. Education Department tells all New York parents that kids have to wear masks despite Supreme Court ruling it illegal. I did bring this up earlier, that it was ruled illegal that in New York to force people to wear masks. But the New York State Education Department has informed parents that they are not allowed to send their children to school unmasked, even though the New York Supreme Court on Monday ruled that the mask mandate is illegal.
That woman looks like a vampire, by the way.
She does. she does look like a vampire.
Like, that woman looks like she drinks blood.
Yeah, to be honest.
Allegedly.
It's all women who are doing this. I think it's because they just want... They get something out of controlling people. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because
exactly.
because they've never had power in their entire lives.
Like it. Oh, because of sexism, right? That's why.
No, it's because they're fucking terrible creatures. Look at them.
Yeah, obviously. This one.
I like it. I like it when they say like, "Oh, women can handle power." Then as soon as they get in power, they handle it abusively, and they're like the worst leaders. And you go like, "Yeah, this is the reason why we're sexist and we think you're bitches and you don't belong anywhere in leadership positions because you're fucking terrible."
Precisely.
Yes, because you're shit.
Because you abuse
you make
people.
Bad leaders. Yes. I don't care if someone says I'm sexist. Women are not supposed to be in power. Men lead, and then women shut the fuck up and submit.
Agree.
Really? Ah, it's more pushback.
Are you joking? I think you should repeal 19. I don't.
This is why I'm doing a podcast with Aiden, because there's no other female that would let me say it and wait with it.
There are, but the reality is that like, look, there's problems with women are extremely emotional for the most part. I'm saying restrict my rights as well. I know, how bizarre, but I'm saying also restrict my rights. I know that makes other women upset, but unfortunately I'm saying, and by restrict my rights, I'm gonna be like, voting is not a inherent right, okay? It has not been historically, so,
no, it really hasn't.
No, so I think that you need to pass some, I mean, I would be fine with women being able to vote if they were able to pass certain kind of, let's say, intelligence tests, or something. But even then, I know you're probably like, well, we both have issues, but we think voting should even exist at all. But
okay, no, but do you know what's gonna happen if you do that? Can I just give a really based, honest answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you did that, the black vote would drop dramatically. Yeah, Democrats will not favor that because the whites would dominate.
Yeah, because I think actually you'd have more black women agreeing, honestly.
No, black women are like desperately fucking power hungry.
Maybe. It depends. I don't know. New York State.
See, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I'm not in favor of the taxpayer one, because the state can easily say, like, you just pay $10 in tax and you can vote. That's easily exploitable. So
right.
I'm not a fan of that.
Well, I would say that the ways that it can allow you to vote, and this is partially Starship Troopers example, is that pass some kind of cognitive test, and it should be a pretty significant cognitive test. Be able to be a landowner, or have contributed to the government in some way. That's the service guarantees citizenship aspect, which I don't believe need necessarily be military. It could be police work or fireman work. And that kind of stuff, I believe, or even being a garbage man, or excuse me, a garbage woman, whatever. That's some ways that you can contribute positively to society. But the reality is that people who do this stupid ass shit, they don't care. They have no investment or involvement in society, so they don't care if they burn it to the ground. Because it's funny, well, it would not be funny for them. But they don't care, because they're not going to have to see the repercussions of their own actions. They will, inevitably, they will eventually. They don't really care. It doesn't matter to them.
I would love to like just abuse the shit out of that system. It's not asking like, what was your contribution to the government? I wanted to lessen it and then blow the shit out of it and install like a different government altogether. Sold. I'm totally in favor of your
Yeah, that IT guy said limit the right to vote to those who can pass a 6th grade civics test. The problem that we always run into with the test part, which I think I have spoke about at length, but just to reiterate, is that who defines the test? Who defines the test? That's always going to be a difficult part. I agree with you on principle. It's just that it's going to be difficult to define who figures out that test.
Hold on a second. I want to see if I can find it. Go on. I want to see. Just speak for a second. I want to see if I can find a meme.
All right. Well, we're gonna. What's going on here, chat? While Spoon tries to find his meme. Thank you all for watching. By the way, I hope you're enjoying. Sorry for the fact that my leather chair always makes fart noises. Well, chat, this is dead air. Dead air. Wow. Spoon, I'm gonna read this while you're waiting. The New York State Education Department has informed parents that they are not allowed to send their children to school unmasked, even though the New York State Supreme Court on Monday ruled the mask mandate is illegal. The department rationalized that they can ignore the ruling because they plan to appeal. This is bullshit, by the way. So, like, for example, and I brought this up to you in private spoons. Like, this is like, okay, so if you get a restraining order pulled out on you, if you get a court to say, like, yeah, well, you need a restraining order because you've been violating someone else's rights and you've been harassing them. This is like saying, well, I'm still allowed to harass the person because I'm going to appeal it. Excuse me. But that's the same kind of logic legally. Spencer.
Okay, so,
yeah, go ahead.
You probably could not be able to put this on screen.
It's something nasty. I won't be able to do it. We put some mean on screen
but just look at them. It's on Discord.
I've seen this before. Okay, we put a really bad meme on the show last time. So this is Spoon's fault. You can blame him for it.
Wow,
it's not me who did this. This is Spoon.
I didn't make the meme. Someone sent this to me ages ago.
Of course they did. So it is.
you know what's really funny? Do you know who sent me this?
Who?
This was years ago. Like my friend Danny, who is like a massive progressive Bernie fan.
I'm not shocked. I'm shocked. Well, not that shocked. Get rid of this one. Sorry. And
wow, thanks for saying like that's my.
I'm just fucking around with you, dude.
It's funny.
It is funny. This is insane. Spencer Port Superintendent Kristen Swan said to parents in an email obtained by the Daily Wire that the department continues to mandate that all individuals in school settings must wear masks. The State Education Department continues to mandate that all individuals in school settings must wear masks under current regulations until legal appeals are exhausted. Why? Why are you being like this? Why do you want it so badly? Because you want children to get fucked in the head? Because that appears to be what's happening. By the way, we have no data on how this will longitudinally influence children. We have no data because we can't. Have you seen those images of the children who like draw pictures of themselves? It's like, draw a picture of you and your family, and they all draw pictures with them with face masks on. I don't think that's gonna be just as someone who is I'm gonna call myself an expert. No, fuck it. I'm an expert in de-individuation. When you look at how you de-individuate people via removing their individuality by giving them an anonymized face mask.
I like how people are bitching like the meme is old. Like, you want to see some of the raunchy shit that I've seen? Like,
no,
yeah.
bitching him for his old ass meme.
Yeah, I don't think I would post any memes that I have lately because they're kind of.
That's alright.
Yeah.
Jeremy says, "Did you see the article that says speech therapy is up over 350%? I'm not at all shocked by that. We're gonna have the impact
of a lot of autistic people.
No, just not autistic. On all children.
It's borderline autistic.
It's gonna be it's uncalculable at this point on children. The impact that these 2 years that have totally disrupted their development have had on them is we're gonna have several children from this generation that are gonna come up in like 15 years. Who are going to be severely psychologically disturbed, I believe, or at least have some serious social issues.
They are going to use that as a thing, by the way. They're going to use
Obviously.
that as a campaign promise.
As they try to indoctrinate them with
kids.
communism. As they try to indoctrinate them to like, well, if you just get rid of capitalism and just destroy the society, then you won't be so sad. If you've looked into the history, and I highly recommend watching James Lindsay's videos on this. What he found in the writings of these many communist thinkers was to intentionally destroy the youth, to make them feel hopeless, to make them feel worthless, so that they will want to destroy society out of a desperation. What have you just done here? You've seriously screwed up children. Sebastian Plante, give examples of your guess of how they're going to be disturbed. Their communication propensity has been seriously deleteriously affected. I think it's going to be a big problem where when they understand themselves under a de-individuated mindset, it means that they're not going to necessarily see themselves as individuals, but rather as non-individuated actors, which will mean that I'm just part of the state. I'm just part of a collective. It's yes, neon suspenders. It's millennials times 1,000, more than times 10. It's gonna be very, very bad, I think, for the very young children who are growing up, and I feel terrible for them because they have been not just been forced to go through this terrible masking, but now they're going through CRT and being told to hate themselves because of the color of their skin. This is not going to work out well in the longitudinally. And they've already done it. Like even though like now we're coming in, and a lot of states are saying to ban this stuff. Unfortunately, it's been going on for like 4 or 5 years. So the damage has been done to the children.
I've never understood that, by the way.
Huh?
I've never understood the people who are like ashamed of their like their skin color or their heritage. Maybe it's because I played too many Command and Conquer games or like Age of Empires when I was younger. But just the idea of like massacring a tribe did make me go like, oh, I should feel ashamed for this. Like, no, that tribe sucked and we were better than you. Feck off. I'm not gonna apologize for you being a pathetic weakling and my tribe kicking the shit out of you. Why would I feel bad about that? You are weak and mine was strong.
It's a video game.
The strong survives. That's how humanity works.
Sebastian Plant asks, is it different from Confucianist cultures of collectivist communities? It is, I believe. This is it mostly involves self-hatred. And one way that you enact self-hatred is by removing personal identity, making someone part of a collective rather than an individual. And that is part of the thing that masks do. And I do mean that in a way that was maybe not immediately intentioned. But they found out that it was a very good way to do it. I don't know if that was intentional or not. Like I can't speak to how much they kind of like deep state, and by that I mean the World Economic Forum understood what they were doing when they enacted all this mass stuff. But by de-individuating children, they make them feel as if they're not unique individuals. They can't see the other person's facial expressions. These are very, very deleterious things for. You have to understand that humans are apes, okay? Like, we have to look at other people's facial expressions to be able to understand them. And when
I said I'm a psychopath. I'm not a psychopath. I just don't feel bad for events that I had no control over.
Well,
That's just how I operate.
I'm not completely agree, but these are
I'm
very...
not saying, like, yes, we should kill everyone who is weaker than our tribe. I'm not that. I mean, not now, anyway.
All I'm saying is that what's happening here is horrifying for children. It's gonna be really, really bad. Because the kids have grown up without, now, for over 2 years of not...
That's avoids a Jew, basically.
Huh? Not being able to see other people's faces, not being able to understand other people's emotions, it's going to stunt their development in terms of their capacity to understand other people's feelings and emotions. And this is a very important thing because the way that humans understand emotions is via looking at other people's faces.
I'm just like, yes, I'm not going to apologize for colonization. Fuck off.
Well, of course, Spoon will not apologize for colonization.
No, do you know why I hate?
Go ahead, Spoon.
Because you were on the losing end of it.
I didn't do shit.
Neither did I, but I'm still gonna take credit for it. It is what it is. But no, so here's what bugs me, right? Is like this, and you guys can attest to this because I'm pretty sure you guys have had the same kind of argument, like faggy leftists, who have this stupid idea of the nation state is a bad idea. Like you can have open borders, and you can destroy that, but colonization is bad.
Yeah.
Like, so colonization is bad because it destroys the native culture, but you're in favor of open borders. How do you hold those two positions at the same time exactly? And secondly, the other reason why I get annoyed by this is that people say, first of all, you don't have property rights if you don't have a state that protects them. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Before all of this shit happened, you had people who would kick the shit out of each other because the only thing, there's no law. What you can is just what you can defend through, brute force. So when another tribe comes and kicks the shit out of everyone,
go ahead.
The only difference between the natives kicking the shit out of each other and white people is that they're just pissed off that white people had a longer game plan than the natives did. That's basically it. That's the only reason why these people are mad. It's because white people had a better technological advancement, they had a better idea of government, and they were just better than you in every single fucking way. They had better technology, better ideas, and they were stronger. So, suck a dick. That's how I feel about that. It's the one thing that annoys me the most about the people who are like, we're pro borders or we're anti borders, but we're we're anti border, but we're also anti colonization. Like, no, it's one or the other. You jackass, because you're openly defying the same thing you're supposed to be fighting for. It doesn't make any sense. Idiots. Yeah, gold medal in mental gymnastics. Or I think that they're mental and try to do gymnastics is probably the best way to look at it. That's why you should never engage with leftists, because these people are fucking morons. Their worldview is in no way coherent, and you should never listen to them. That's why you should read books instead. Never engage with leftists, because they don't have any common sense. Or any consistency. If colonization lasted 100 years longer, the world would have been better off. Probably would have, actually. The world would have been better off if it not for Woodrow Wilson. He was the worst person in the last, I'd say, because he was the jackass who decided that after the post-First World War we should dissolve the Austro-Hungarian Empire and then we should have democracy instead of, just leaving the fucking Kaiser. And then it all went to shit. So, no.
I do regret entering the Kaiser wasn't maybe a best move.
People could wish they could say the shit that I do.
No, I said leave. But
one day I'll make
it.
One day
I'll make it.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, if for those of you guys who don't know this, I literally have a video where I defended segregation.
He does. I don't agree necessarily, but you can go over to Spoon's channel and find out what the hell he has to say about it.
Well, I said I didn't defend it and say that you should bring it back. I said because this was like a couple of months ago. What I started to see it was you should have places that were segregated, like college dorms and schools or something. And I said, okay, the problem with this is, okay, naturally people segregate themselves. I'm not surprised that people segregate themselves with the communities that they know. I mean, that's natural. That's how human beings are like. But with doing it to black people, there's a problem with doing this. If you are going to criticize white culture or westernization, do not teach black people how to be self-sufficient in the way that white people do, or that Asians do. Now, hold on, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what will you...
I'll fucking order aside.
Yeah, but my question is then, what do you replace it with? Because if you're going to segregate them, you will have to, if you're going to segregate them from whites, you are going to have to teach them how to be sustainable in the way that everyone else is. Otherwise, they will be like, away from Western ideals, they stagnate. So, what are you going to do? And then that's where the conversation stops, because nobody has any answer to that question.
Yeah, because this is a little bit.
Just,
this is a very spicy conversation.
Yeah, it's like. I said, like, if you want to make white people supreme again, this is the way to do it. Because white people will not suffer.
I don't want to make white people supreme. That's kind of like lame.
No, but here's the God's honest truth is
white people should just be allowed to exist without like weird CRT shit that makes them hate themselves. That's all I want.
No, that's true. But the point I'm trying to make is that white people, if you make them homogenous and there's only white people around, they will do fine.
But white people are not. That's another thing that I find ridiculous about like the weird like white nationalist crap. Is that like, okay, well, Spoon, how much do I make fun of you for being a Dutchoid, and how much you make fun of me for being a Welshoid? That's the like white people make fun of each other for like, and they don't like each other. Like, there's no white homogeneity. There isn't.
No.
It just doesn't exist.
If there was,
it's ridiculous now that there is. It's stupid as hell.
If there was, there wouldn't be a lot of other people around, because if white people tend to get together and we get pissed off, other people tend to die in really big numbers. That's horrible.
So I don't like that.
Don't piss us off.
What? Just God damn it! I don't like this at all. Look. What people don't agree with each other on almost anything, okay? So, like, I don't understand, the idea of white homogeneity in culture is not just currently ridiculous, it's historically ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I've had this conversation with a bunch of Black Americans, and whenever they say white people, I've said to them, "Can you please stop saying the phrase white people?"
Who do
Because
you
the
mean?
idea the idea that we're all somehow together because we share the same melanin count is the fucking dumbest argument ever.
Well, white people have probably more to disagree with each other each other over than any other group necessarily, because white people is a massive swath of people from all over Europe who have a lot of very big historical issues with one another.
Yes, because like if you look at Europe is like what, like the Irish, the English, Scottish, Welsh, French, German, Spanish, Dutch, Italian, Portuguese, Greek, Lithuanian, like all these people, for most of these people, they have their own freaking language, for heaven's sakes. Like these people don't agree, they don't even understand each other.
Culture, and they have nothing to do
Yes.
with, they have very little to do, they have very, very little to do with one another.
Yes, and they were kicking the shit out of each other in the first half of the last century in 2 world wars.
Right. Well, you call them brother wars if you want, and in a way they were, but like, because at least Europe had more intercultural. Actually, we could go back into the monarchy kind of stuff, because the way that before the world wars, the way that the European cultures prevented themselves from going to war with one another was by marrying each other, aristocracy off to each other, to be like, well, no, you don't want to go to war here with one another because, well,
it's gonna be expensive.
Not just expensive, but because this is what someone in the aristocracy is. Many people in the aristocracy are part of your, genetic line. That was eliminated when we got rid of monarchy, and therefore and what happens at the end is the brother wars, and by that I mean like the Europeans going to war with each other. So my only point is that like to act like all white people are the same is extremely silly. Just is to act like all Asians are the same, which is oh my god.
It's actually quite racist, actually.
Like yeah, segregating people by races and acting like they all get along is the stupidest stuff I've ever heard. Yeah, get the Chinese and Japanese to get along with each other because they have the same general racial group. That will work. What a ridiculous, stupid thing to say. That's Jesus, very dumb.
Yeah, I think if we were to look at the Japanese and Chinese relationship in the Second World War, people won't know the Chinese behave like now. The Japanese are probably quite based.
The entire history of Japan and China, it's not been great. I don't. This idea of racial
harmony
is a little bit scuffed, right? Because even though you might have a lot of things in common because your people are from similar regions of the world, does not mean that all white people will get along. It doesn't mean that all black people will get along. And it's actually something that's very silly about the American perspective of being like, all black people, all Hispanic people, all white people, they're all aligned in a big racial group. No, they're not.
No, not at all.
Maybe a little bit more so than in the European context where everybody hates each other, right? Like, I mean, by hate, I mean like, there's
disagreements.
The longitudinal disagreements between people of different European cultures, and I think it's some like again, I live on a very tiny island in a channel, and there's animosity between parishes here. Like, oh, I don't like those people from that other parish. I don't like them because they're and it's almost racialized.
We do that with everything, though. We do it with like
everyone does. It's an inherent aspect of human psychology, and you will not get away with that. You can't escape from it. It will happen, and it happens. The only way that it seems to be trying to be shifted now was to be like, oh well, now Democrat versus Republican, but it's the same kind of intergroup psychology that's always happened versus groups throughout any place in any country in anywhere in human history. It's always going to happen. You can't get rid of it. It's the nature of human psychology. It's the nature of human social psychology. You can't get rid of it.
Someone else who would be our king if we were to choose now? Trump.
We always get asked that.
Yeah, Trump would be
right
the
now. I would say Trump.
Right now.
I would say, even though I'm not saying like, I love Trump as kind of like I think he was like a god king or whatever. But there's a reason why people portrayed him as such. It's funny, the left portrayed him as such as a meme, and then he did get portrayed as such by the right. And the right, I think, started to do it. It was like mostly 4chan that did that. Because I was in the threads. As a meme, and then the left like got mad about it, and the right actually adopted it.
Because it's funny.
It is funny to portray him as the God Emperor, but...
Yeah, because he did piss off everyone. If I could have Trump in power, I would dissolve the Senate.
I don't want to dissolve the Senate? But that's what the left's trying to do right now, dude. Kanye
No, but I would
West.
have Trump. I would Trump as a king, and the House fuck off.
Yeah, I agree.
Have
Fine,
Trump and his advisors, and potentially maybe the Supreme Court, and then the rest of it can fuck off, and then we can reduce the bureaucracy by like 80%, and then massive amount of taxes would be done away with, and then yeah.
I think we have some other good contenders. Flying Buttman says Kanye West. I agree. Also, literally God says Sam Hyde. There we go. We have some good contenders.
No, it's a white nation. I would only have a white king.
No,
Sorry.
I made like a whole video about how I think Kanye West is amazing.
Dude, the amount of fucking memes of we was kangs would just be insane.
No, fuck off. You don't know anything about Kanye. You don't know anything about Ye, dude. You don't know anything.
That dude is not fit to be a king.
I think Ye is fit to be king.
Dude.
I love Kanye. I love him. I think he is fit to be king. Just saying.
Can you imagine him being president?
Yeah, I think Ye would be great.
Dude, he'd be a fucking mess.
I have to agree
No.
only because Ye's got a bunch of like mental health issues. But I love Ye. I would definitely have Ye be my king.
See, here's the thing for me, and I'll make it trouble for saying this, but I don't really give a fuck. Is now it's white. Yes, here's the thing. I'm of the opinion that whatever group made the sort of stability of the order, that should be the only group that should ever hold power. So in America, it was made by Europeans, so only Europeans should ever hold any power. Like
Yeah, I
if
don't
it's
believe
like an
that.
African country, no, that's what I believe. In an African country, there's no one in hell any white people should run anything. That should be only blacks because they're African. It's their land. So no, in South Africa, in my country, I would obviously advocate running for whites because fucking whites are the ones who made the state in the first place. So
Wait, okay, but what about other countries outside of South Africa? South Africa was mostly South Africa was the most, as it currently exists as a nation, was established by whites, right? Even though it's in Africa, obviously. But you would say that you would. But what if there's a great black leader in South Africa who would make a better king?
when you find one, I'll be glad to meet one.
Well, I know, okay, but I'm just saying, like, I think that let me put it this way: our understanding of this stuff is not based on race; it's based on willingness and wanting to protect the realm, right? Truly, not to do it for small-term, individual, personal investment, which is what you get under a democracy. If I'll work here for a while, I'll write a book, I'll make $1 billion or whatever, and then I leave, and it doesn't matter how much horrible shit I do to the country, and I can just get out. That's how democracy works.
Rat said Robert Mugabe.
No, not Mugabe, not Mugabe. And yes, please listen to Kanye's album Yeezus. He does make actually arguments for why
if people think I'm going to listen to someone's music for justification,
you need to listen to Yeezus. You really should. It's a great album. Like this dude Spoon can't listen to Yeezus. Look at this dude. He can't. He doesn't know what's up.
What is that supposed to mean?
You don't know what's up. You don't listen to Yeezus.
No, I don't.
You gotta listen to Yeezus.
Dude, let me explain something. Okay. If it doesn't feature an instrument, I will not listen to it.
There's
and if the instrument isn't,
sort of?
No.
I'm gonna make you listen to Yeezus, dude. We have a couple things left to get through. We only have a couple things left. Let's get through them. Are we ready?
Yes.
Or should we continue? You want to continue the monarchy argument because I'm always down with it. But what do you want to do?
Ask the chat.
Hey chat, would you rather us continue our argument about whether or not Kanye should be king, or or should we move to the last like 3 articles we have left?
Like in all seriousness, let me ask the chat. Like a serious question. Like you guys decide a king for the United States, like a monarchical ruler. Who would your honest to God ruler would be?
Because I don't.
Mine would be Trump.
I think Trump is the best one, but I don't necessarily like that answer. So
now the reason I'm saying this one is because he is the most American-centric leader that I can actually think of. That he's got business experience. He's dealt with other nations, so he knows how. He's got skin in the game in that regard. Mm-hmm. And he's got a wealth of experience dealing with other diplomats in the business sense and in a private sense. So I think if you want someone that has Oh my God, Alex Jones.
But he would never accept it. It's not within Alex's personality.
I don't think Trump would either, but
That's
I think he would make a good one.
That's the funny thing is that like everyone, there's this perspective that the polls might be a good one, but I don't think they'd accept it either. There's this perspective that everybody wants to be a monarch, and the reality is no, they don't. Actually, almost nobody wants to be a monarch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be it either.
And the people who want to be are the people who don't want to be monarchs.
Musk is an American.
Yeah, make him, king of South Africa, I guess. There you go.
Oh my good God.
Don't get too excited.
Or like, autistic white boy. I would totally be in favor of making a white man king of South Africa. And I make no qualms about it. I completely would.
Boer's gonna be finally happy about that shit.
Boer, yeah, would be happy.
I can't pronounce your words, dude. I don't know.
Boer.
Boer.
There you go.
I did it. Yeah. I said Boers. That's how it's spelled.
I hate when people that. You know what? It's like when people say boom slang. That like it's boom slang.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that is what it is. King Tuck.
King Tucker. Tucker won't want you though.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem.
King Carlson. That sounds so much like a beer.
But that's the whole thing, is that anybody who would be decent, and Tucker would not be necessarily, but like anybody who would be decent at being a monarch would deny it, I think. And that's kind of the issue that you get with trying to move into a monarchic position, is that everyone who understands monarchy, who would be good at being a monarch, understands the incredible, insane responsibility that it implies, and therefore would probably deny it. So,
Ron DeSantis. I don't know enough about Sanders'.
I think he'd deny it too. There's no.
Trump would be the most likely to do it.
Trump would be the most likely to be okay with it, but I don't know.
I agree that Tucker would make a good press secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just about anyone who you would want to be monarch would not be fit.
Exactly. Anyone who would want to be the monarch would not be fit. And that's the inherent problem with trying to reinstate a monarchy out of a democratic system or any kind of democratic republic system or whatever. Anyone who'd want to do it would be bad for it.
That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good point by broadcaster. King Paul would destroy the Fed.
Oh, I mean,
that is a good point.
I do think King Paul to destroy the Fed, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I mean, you do kind of want a dynasty, right? So like the Pauls would be great. Well, Michael Malice, but Michael Malice would never want it. That's the whole thing.
Michael Malice is an anarchist, so he would never do that.
Yeah, if you give Michael Malice the king position, he'll immediately disintegrate the monarchic system. Although I love Michael Malice, but he would immediately destabilize it on principle. I don't know, like everything that we talk about here with monarchy in the United States is mostly a meme and mostly theoretical. These are not like. I think like people like when they react to me now, which by the way, like I'm losing subscribers on YouTube and shit because people are mad at me for being a monarchist.
But it's also interesting, like who would you pick as your king? Mine would obviously be someone like Trump, but it's also the case of now you can't obviously do this because they would do this themselves and they had the authority to. But oh God, King Joe Rogan, every day remember to do DMT, people.
Well, actually, NPC3PO, anarcho-monarchist, is actually what we're both advocating for. Is well, at least I don't know. Actually, no Spoon lesser than me. But for what I'm advocating for is that I find the way that you can best protect anarchy in the way that Michael Malice describes it is under an over umbrella monarchic system. That's why I ascribe to it, and that's why I'm promoting it. I guess like I don't want to say that I'm promoting anything, but I want people's freedoms to be maximalized. And the way that I think that we maximize personal freedoms is under a monarchic umbrella, because otherwise you get increasing desires to want to take over society, to take over government, to be corrupt, and to be terrible under any other anarchic system. And that's why I have an issue with any other anarchic system, including anarcho-communism, anarcho-capitalism as well, even though anarcho-monarchism is say, anarcho-capitalist system. But I think agorism is best actually served under a anarcho-monarchist paradigm. What?
I might agree.
I know people get so upset by what I just said. People are like so upset by what I just said because they're like, no, because they've never heard words like libertarian monarchism. They've never heard words like this. Never heard this kind of terminology. They've never understood this. They've never heard this stuff. Yeah, it's politarchy. Yeah, right. Can you write? It's politarchy, not anarchy. You're correct. Politarchy. Yeah. You're correct.
I might agree. Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Huh?
I could totally see Rogan saying that though.
Yeah. Well, well, we're just we're just.
Who would you guys have as some of the, like your positions? Like, say if you had, okay, well, it's, like who would
Nothing
you?
bad ever happened to
Would
the
you have as your
Kennedys.
Secretary of the Treasuries? Like who would I have? I'd have Musk running the Secretary of the Treasury, to be honest.
Sure. Am I not just describing original federalism of the United States? Sort of, actually, and in fact, like the reality is that most of the, if not all of the United States founders were actually monarchists, but they couldn't figure out
they're
like, really
very aristocratic people.
Yeah, how to manage their beliefs with the fact that the monarch was 3 months away, right? So we live in a very different world, and I think that what actually the libertarian founders, if you want to call them libertarians today, of today, back in the past, the founders would have believed it was probably a similar system of monarchy, such as that we're describing. That I think that's actually correct. I could be wrong, obviously, because there's nobody to know. This is all speculative, but whatever.
Newt Gingrich. He's an interesting character.
I like Newt. Do you want to go through a couple things though before we head out? We had to finish this stupid. Oh, this stupid fucking the New York state mandate.
No, I think if you guys want an honest take on America's real history, there's a book you can read called "True History of the American Revolution," because I think America's history is
It's,
not quite as as black and white as your your history suggests. It's actually like
it's True History of the American Revolution. I'll bring it up here for you guys. True History of the American Revolution by Sidney George Fisher.
Yeah.
If
Sidney Fisher, I think.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here. If you would like to read this book, I'm still reading it. I'm not done with it. But I have, however, read the Audible book, or not read, listened to the. There's an Audible version of this. I swear to God, there is.
I could read it and post it on my channel.
I thought for sure there was this. Oh no, this is not when I've read the Audible book. This one is I've just read it on my Kindle, and I need to get like a new. I need the official. Well, I need a physical copy of. But this one is fantastic. So fantastic, interesting book. Just to read the description. Fisher's book is a history of the American Revolution told from the viewpoint of a British man. From the preface, the purpose of this history of the Revolution is to use the original authorities rather than more frankly, has been the practice within our historians. They appear to have thought it advisable to omit from their narratives a great deal which, to me, seems essential to a true picture. I cannot feel satisfied with any description of the Revolution which treats the desire for independence as a sudden thought, and not a long growth and development, or which assumes that every detail of the conduct of the British government was absurdly stupid, even from its own point of view, and that the Loyalists were few in numbers and their arguments not worth considering. I cannot see any advantage in not describing in their full meaning and force the smuggling, the buying of laws from the governors, and their irregular conduct in the colonies, which led England to try and remodel them as soon as the fear of the French in Canadian description, which fails to reveal the salient details of the great controversy over the rather peculiar methods adopted by General Howe to suppress the rebellion. This controversy was a part of the Revolution. It involved the interesting question of Howe's instructions for the ministry and the methods which the ministry intended to use with the revolted colonists. I highly suggest checking out that book, by the way. Can anyone see how horrible... sorry, I have my Chrome turned off. There we go. Here's the book. It's The True History of the American Revolution. Highly recommend.
There's another one that I had. It was.
Well, I got a whole bunch. Like you can look at all. You can look at my. I've actually bought many of these books over here, but I still kept them in my thingy because.
Oh yeah, here is a very old one that is a Tory view, and this. When was this written? This was like really old. This one. Well, when was this checked out? 1961. Okay, so this is fucking old as shit.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, this one is well, the one that you just mentioned is I think 1902. I think.
Yeah. Well, this one is 1902. Is it?
Yes. Whereas the one that I have now, the one that I was mentioning, that is Origins and Progress of the American Rebellion.
Yeah. Other books.
I don't know why it just sounds based. Musk is not Canadian.
This one
Musk is South African.
Yeah, I have this book, The Servile State, that one I actually bought the copy of. This one I'm still waiting to come in the mail. Leviathan and its Enemies. If you guys are interested...
Scrubs had to get that one.
Yeah, if you guys are interested in some of these... also, yeah, this one is a necessary book, The Machiavellians, Defenders of Freedom. I have a copy of this.
It's been to be a very complex book.
It's by James Burnham. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
If you're interested and I think Spoon and I will probably do book reviews probably in the future. Of,
yeah.
Just kind of going over some of the stuff, because...
yeah, Justice Breyer is retiring. And
just
he's...
Yes.
Did
we talk about that in the beginning? I think we did.
Yeah, and the woman, because of course it's going to be a fucking female.
Of course.
They're probably going to be fucking black because
oh shit,
I hate fucking identity politics.
Fuck, whatever. Where's my full address? It was just where, generally speaking. It's fine, people know where I live. Shoot.
Industrial Society and Its Future. Isn't that Uncle Ted's book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have read that as well. He describes leftists really, really well.
Oh shoot, did anyone see my fucking...
Which is basically that leftists are a bunch of fucking losers.
Okay, nobody got my actual fucking address. Cool.
It's quite funny because if you read Ted Kaczynski's book...
Yeah.
And you read the leftist part, you would swear you're reading Jordan Peterson.
I know. It's interesting. It's fascinating.
There's a lot of overlap because when I first read it, I was like, Jesus, this sounds like everything I've read about Peterson like the last year. It's like,
yeah, it's interesting. But I think that what Spoon and I have kind of discovered, which is not, it's not just us, it's ever like Scrump again is also somebody else to listen to on this, is that we kind of...
Yeah, Scrump is way better than me on this.
Yeah, we just sort of found like what I would call not forbidden knowledge, but kind of like
old world knowledge.
Old world knowledge of stuff people weren't really aware of, and I think that it's interesting, and I think that it's important for people to understand that just because things that were believed in the past are not currently popular doesn't mean that they're bad beliefs, right? Not necessarily. Like they can absolutely be, but many things that we talk about are not like, we're not making this shit up, right?
Merrick Garland is no way in hell becoming a Supreme Court justice. No. It's going to be a woman.
Do you want to talk about?
It's going to be some it poll. It's going to be some it poll bitch.
Let's talk about
I don't know how, but
couple articles I have here. 3 left. Cool. Fauci says Pfizer vaccine could receive authorization for kids under 5 as early as next month, placing U.S. among countries with lowest age for shots.
Oh, that's just fucking tyrannical.
Like, it is tyrannical. And there's no data on this. No data.
Decline of the West. Why does that sound familiar?
It sounds familiar. But
no, they would never put a trans woman on the Supreme Court. That's a bit much. But no, they won't put Kamala either.
No, she's out. Like, I don't know what's happening.
There's no one else she would get nominated, even.
She was in the primaries the person who got the lowest approval, the lowest amount of votes. Like, she's not.
Yeah, she's not viable.
She's not electable. Pfizer is currently trialing its COVID vaccine in children as young as 6 months old and reported reported plans to submit its application for approval soon. The Pfizer vaccine is the only jab minors in the U.S. are eligible for, with children as young as 5 allowed to receive the shot. The U.S. is already part of a small list of countries that jabs children under the age of 12. Approving the vaccines for children as long as 6 months would make the U.S. kids the youngest in the world to receive the shots. There's no data on this. We went over it earlier. We went over the CDC data that shows that there is nothing about this that helps you if you've been exposed. And if you've been exposed to Omicron, which has almost no symptoms, basically, then that this is, instead of exposing children to, I don't know, like, you have to make the choice. Is it better to expose them to a disease, or that has almost no impact, or expose them to a mRNA altering vaccine that no one has any idea what it does longitudinally, and we do now have some evidence that it could affect female fertility, for example. Why? And I do you think, like, let me ask you this, Spoon, like, do you think this is gonna blow up in people's faces in 20 years when they can't have children? If they do have fertility issues, what are they gonna do? Because they can't sue anyone. It's all been taken off the table.
I think the long-term damage is going to be done to the medical institutions, to be honest.
They can't be sued. They can't be sued. They put that into the old.
Yeah, stuff. But I don't mean in the case of suit. It's just that their reputation has been fucking irreparably damaged by many people.
It's horrifying to me. But, like, I don't think great things are going to happen.
No.
That's my fear.
I don't think there's a good long-term outlook on that, especially. It's just there might be for some fucking morons who will swallow everything, quite literally.
Literally.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who will be very, very skeptic from now on in. I'd be one of those people. I said before in the video that the chances of me taking a vaccine from here on in, anything new, is like no. Fuck off. No way in hell. I'm not taking anything.
No,
because I don't trust you.
I haven't yet because and people are like, Eden, why don't you take the vaccine? It's like, because I'm a scientist.
Because I'm not a homosexual and I'm not overweight.
No, because I'm a scientist. I know the fact that you put the same amount of testing into your vaccine as it would go into one of my tests in the social sciences.
Less even.
Yeah, that's as someone who has, submitted data and submitted research for analysis. What? Through social sciences, and it's the same type of time period? That to me is incomprehensible. There's no way you could have gone over any of these data. There's no way you could have gone over any of it. That's why I find to be absolutely horrifying. And no, I won't submit myself to this kind of thing when it's in my opinion not actually tested. And I'm saying that as a scientist. I will come out as a scientist, much like Dr. Barbara Malone, who knows far more than I do about this kind of area of science. But if I, as a social scientist, can look at this shit and go, no, this doesn't seem right, this seems like crummy research to me, then that should be horrifying to everybody else. If me as a social scientist goes, what? That should look terrifying to everyone else. And if, as a social scientist, I'm confused, you need to be, I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm not an expert, but if my statistical amount of knowledge makes me confused and disconcerted, everyone else should be. Just a little bit disconcerted. Not saying not to do whatever your doctor tells you to do, but wowee. Interesting to me, that's all.
I wouldn't even do that, to be honest.
Huh?
I wouldn't even trust the doctors at this point. I'd go to the doctor, I don't want you to tell me the truth, I want you to tell me what I want to hear. Which is, give me a reason why I shouldn't take the stupid thing. Okay, that's good enough. I realize that's a stupid thing to say, but
unfortunately, many of them are paid off because they actually get money from these big pharma.
Yeah, why do you think I said I don't trust doctors at this point?
Yeah. Speaking of getting money, let's go into this. Did you read this Breitbart article?
The one where Biden is taking a shitload of money from China?
Yeah, bombshell. Biden family scored $31 million from deals with individuals with direct ties to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence. Now, this is from Breitbart. I don't know how accurate this is. And it's related to it's related to a book. So I don't know, and it's a very long article, so I don't know how much we want to go over it.
Well, the author in question is a
Peter Schweizer.
New York Times bestseller from multiple books, so As New York Times, not exactly reputable, but
Biden family scored $31 million from 5 deals in China, all with individuals with direct ties to Chinese spy apparatus, according to bombshell new book. Multiple financiers with direct ties to Chinese intelligence partner with Hunter Biden during and after his father's time as vice president, including the former head of the Ministry of State Security and the head of Foreign Intelligence Recruitment, and some of those relationships remain intact, according to Red-Handed, How American Elites Get Rich Helping China Win by Breitbart News senior contributor Peter Schweizer. So I don't know if this is correct. I have no idea. I cannot confirm or deny the aspects of this book. But it's interesting, right?
Yeah, I would probably take it as at gospel at this point, because there's a lot of research that goes into it. And this is Biden, and Biden has a shitload of money from places like China.
Just to continue, Schweizer explains that Beijing saw a financial relationship with the Bidens as an opening for elite capture, which allowed Hunter Biden to secure meetings and score major deals with people in the highest levels of Chinese financial institutions and the Chinese Communist Party. And in return, they would be able to leverage the Bidens' power for their interests. One of the central early players in the Bidens' Chinese deals is a tycoon by the name of Che Feng, or the Super Chairman, as Hunter and his partners referred to him. Che, the son of a PLA soldier, has been described in Western media as a shadowy, discreet investor whose father-in-law was governor of the People's Bank of China and whose business partner was the Vice Minister of State Security, a man by the name of Ma Jiang. Schweizer writes that Ma was reportedly the director of the ministry's No. 8 Bureau, overseeing North American operations targeting foreigners with its counterintelligence apparatus. The hazard of a Chinese businessman with close ties to the top ranks of Beijing's spy agency conducting a financial transaction with the son of the U.S. Vice President cannot be overstated. How this did not set off national security or ethics alarms bells in Washington is a wonder itself, Schweizer writes in Red-Handed. The super chairman was meant to, quote, fuse Chinese financial might to those with access to the highest levels of power in the Western world, which led to the creation of the Bohai Harvest RST, or BHR, funded by China's biggest government-backed financial institutions with the Biden scion and his American partners. Another partner to the Bidens were introduced to the super chairman is Zhao Shuijin, Henry Zhao, who formed Harvest Fund Management. Zhao was the chairman and Chinese Communist Party general secretary at the firm. Zhao had another company called Harvest Global Investments, which he co-funded with Jia Liping, the daughter-in-law of a former member of the Politburo Standing Committee at the time. Zhao Chuang, Liang's father, is the former minister of the State Security in charge of Secret Service, espionage, and domestic and overseas intelligence work. That firm, Harvest Global Investments, wired $5 million to another Hunter Biden's businesses called Burnham. There is no one more powerful in the world of Chinese intelligence, Schweizer writes. The seductive and lucrative deal that Hunter was now putting into place, creating the BHR, involved two financiers with ties to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence, a $1 billion private equity deal that we first exposed in Secret Empires. What we now know are the roles played by the spy connected to Super Chairman and Zhao. According to Michael Lin, another Chinese partner, Hunter's role in the venture was pretty straightforward. Open as many doors as possible in the Western world for this very famous Bohai professional team. There was also the expectation that Hunter and his partners would join some of the meetings in Hong Kong and China they arrange when communicating with possible financial partners, Schweizer adds. The super chairman and Ma Jiang were eventually arrested and charged with money laundering and bribery, taking them out of the deal with Biden. However, the connections Hunter had made through them were already established, and Zhao would serve as a conduit for more deals ahead. Eventually, BHR began buying or investing in companies in China and the US with strategic importance. For instance, Schweizer reports that one of their early investments was in China General Nuclear Power Corporation, with Hunter's firm as an anchor investor. The FBI ultimately busted CGN as a conduit for nuclear espionage in the West, with CGN and a CGN engineer being charged by the Obama DOJ with stealing nuclear secrets in 2016. Jesus Christ, dude! The Obama administration charged them with that shit.
Yeah. You're surprised that this administration is insanely fucking corrupt?
The Obama administration called out the Bidens.
Yeah. That's not a surprise. Obama hates Biden.
Yeah, clearly he does. BHR also brought an American company called Henniges Automotive, which created anti-vibration technologies with military and civilian applications. BHR partnered with the Aviation Industry Corporation of China to close the deal, one of China's largest military contractors and a major culprit of the theft of U.S. defense technology. Between BHR deal and the $5 million wired by Harvest, Hunter received some $25 million from Chinese businessmen tied to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence, Schweitzer writes. Eventually, Hunter would be introduced to the CEFC Chinese Energy Chairman Ye Jiangming, with whom he would develop a close working relationship and would speak, according to Hunter, on a regular basis. Hunter served as Ye's personal counsel and also worked with him on to broaden CEFC as a global energy company with holdings in Oman, Romania, Colombia, and Luxembourg. However, Ye also had close Chinese intelligence ties. The CEFC was housed in a complex Shanghai French concession section in an area primarily controlled by China's military. One of Ye's early business partners was the granddaughter of one of the founders of the Chinese military, Marshal Ye Jianying. The corporate logo of the company Hunter Biden was now advertising, and which would pay him millions, features as a star. According to the company's records on its English website, it represents, quote, civil rights. However, on the company's Chinese language site, the star signified that this organization will, quote, play a strong and powerful role for the interests of the Chinese state and nation, Schweitzer writes. CAFC was also a direct beneficiary to the Chinese military, and as the company played a central role in China's Belt and Road Initiative and was an oil supplier to the People's Liberation Army. Hunter would set up two entities with Ye, Hudson West IV and Sinohawk, to allow the chairman to invest in U.S. infrastructure. In total, the Biden family received some $6 million from Ye's companies. What are we supposed to fucking think at this point, dude?
Amazing this guy's fucking president.
Like, how
corrupt as holy shit.
This is incomprehensible, dude. He's received so much money. How many millions? It's over $50 million at this point from China.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's this, like, politics just like corruption is holy shit.
And then we're just supposed to be okay with it.
Yeah, that's because people don't fucking know anything about it. Why do you think Hunter Biden's laptop was censored? Because it's bullshit.
Obviously. It was in a deal with CEFC that Hunter reportedly discussed holding 10% for the, quote, big guy, Joe Biden.
Yep.
Here it is. In working with Ye, I'm gonna say Ye, because I don't want to have the Kanye thing come back. Hunter also built a relationship with Chairman's emissary, Gong Guangdong, with whom he had plans to share an office along with Joe and Joe Biden following the then VP's departure from office. They're all involved with this. But Dong was not only an emissary for the chairman at the time, he was also a chief financial officer for Beijing-based Radiance Property Holdings controlled by Lam Teng-kyung, a businessman with deep connections to the United Front, group linked to Chinese intelligence, and a member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a central component of the CCP United Front efforts, which often serves as a cover for Chinese intelligence operations. Quote, in sum, the deals the Biden secured in China was via a businessman with deep ties at the highest levels of Chinese intelligence, and in each case there appears to be little discernible business or professional service that was rendered in return for the money, Schweitzer writes. There is evidence previously reported by the New York Post that the Biden family businesses was footing bills for Joe Biden's expenses, as Schweitzer writes in his book. Hunter and Biden and Joe Biden blurred their funds. The infamous laptop from hell, a 2019 text, was recovered from Hunter Biden to his daughter Naomi, where he writes, I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make me give you half your salary. Jesus Christ, really? Fuck you, Joe.
Oh, what's the...
What a cunt.
Oh, so he's an asshole even to his own family.
I guess so. There's also an email to Hunter on the hard drive from 2010, subject line JRB bills, where the bills are detailed for contractors hired for upkeep on the senior Biden's Wilmington house for Hunter to pay. The bills that June included $2,700 to contractor Earl Downing for a stone retaining wall at Joe's Wilmington estate, $1,400 to painter Ronald Peacock to paint the back wall and columns of the house, and $1,200 to builder Mike Christopher for repairs to the air conditioning at the cottage of Joe's late mother's, Jean Mom Biden, what the hell, which was on his property, and which he would later rent to the Secret Service. What? For $2,200 a month, the Post reported. Peter Schweitzer also reveals in Red Handed that Rosemont Seneca, another of Hunter's many entities, set up separate phone lines to reach then VP Biden and paid for that monthly bill at Schweitzer calls not legal. Beijing should certainly be happy with the overall posture of the Biden administration. The talk is tougher, but the main tenets of the foreign policy that Beijing wants Washington to pursue are secure. No radical reduction in the transfer of technology or capital from America to Beijing, no fundamental challenges to the Chinese regime, and mild criticisms over the human rights accompanied by excuses for their conduct. So, in other words, what's this look like to you lads listening in? Sorry, I read the whole article. Thank you, Breitbart writer Emma Jamoras. I just read your work. What does it sound like to you, Spoon?
That the entire regime is fucking paid off. And it's just like essentially a Chinese dictatorship in America.
Completely paid off by the Chinese.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, and no one in the press is saying jack shit about it.
No, it's funny.
And then you wonder why, so many of the policies seem self-destructive to the United States, it's because Joe Biden doesn't give a fuck. It's because he's being paid off by China.
He's paid off. Like,
yeah.
It's so funny to me.
There's a reason why he's called Beijing Biden.
I know, but it's so funny to me because, like, we had to listen to 5 years of Trump is owned by the Russians, Trump is owned by the Russians, Putin owns Trump. And it's like, well, wait a minute, look at this. Biden is literally owned by the Chinese. Literally.
Yep.
He's been paid off by the Chinese.
Has been for
the entire time.
Ages.
For more than 8 years. About 12, from the looks of it.
So, who do you think helped rig the election?
You can't say that term. Yes, you're right. You're right, Spoon. The election was rigged against Joe Biden because he's the most popular president who's ever existed in the history of forever.
Mm-hmm.
Most popular president ever, I tell you. I looked at the data. I saw it.
Yeah, okay.
We got one more article left.
And my asshole is made of Swiss cheese.
I mean, you're a Spoon, so maybe it is. I don't know.
It's not, I can assure you.
Well, I have the last article, which is today. This is just going to be the little bit of last fun we have before I think we head out tonight. Neil Young wants his music scrubbed from Spotify because of vaccine misinformation from this. Yeah, it's this story. Everyone's heard this story, but I feel we should talk about it anyway because it's just silly, stupid stuff.
It's fucking gay.
Young
this is like just you know when you see old people who are dumb as shit who are just like desperately trying to be relevant again for some faggy reason.
Would you
like this is that?
Do you want to know, like, the real irony about this? Is one of like Neil Young's top 3 favorite and most famous songs is "Old Man," right?
Yeah, and the needle.
He's an old man. But do you know what that song's about?
Old man.
It's about Neil Young when he was 25. He
bought a cattle ranch.
He bought a giant cattle ranch, and he's like talking shit to an older guy, and being like, "Look at how successful I am. I am successful. Deal with it." And now Neil Young, is an old ass dude, is talking shit about Joe Rogan. Isn't that some kind of irony? I think it's ironic to me, at least. I don't know. Because in his song, he's being like, "Yo, I earned my shit. I earned my pay. I got my way," you know? And now he'd be like, "No, Joe Rogan needs to be shut down." Even though Joe Rogan's like 50, but still, you know what I mean?
In the song "Old Man"?
Yeah.
I know the lyrics of the Old Man. I wonder, like, where the hell is that from?
But the kind of implication in that song is that, like, deal with it, old guy. Because he's talking to, like, a farmhand in that case, and the guy's asking him, like, how are you able to afford this much stuff? And he's like, yeah, look, I own this shit. I made my fucking, land. I made my money. and now he's trying to destroy Joe Rogan, who's a younger man comparatively to him. I just find that ironic.
I quite agree with that.
Is that what you think that Neil Young is trying to do, is to destroy Joe Rogan?
No, I just think he's just some lame fag.
I know. Yes, in the big scheme of things, I'm just trying to like put some kind of
spin behind
it. No, it's spin. A greater meaning behind like what a hypocrite you are. You know. You had no problem with you were bragging. He was humble bragging about the fact that he was super rich when he was 25 years old and he could buy a giant mansion. And now he wants to get rid of Joe Rogan. I just find that a little bit odd. This is my kind of perspective on that, right?
Okay. Quite sure I agree with that one though.
It might be a reach, But Neil Young wants his music scrubbed from Spotify because of vaccine misinformation on the platform. However, we don't have to actually read this article from CNN because Neil Young has removed his petition. Yeah, he's removed it. He's been like, no, he doesn't want to do this anymore. I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder why. That was the whole thing.
Is it because he realized he'd lose a lot of money?
It was because Joe Rogan receives like something like 80,000 times more views per month than his songs do on Spotify. So I think that's actually.
I think it could be because he realized that like you don't actually have the pull of Joe Rogan, old man. So,
no, he does not. Yeah, old man.
They're not going to listen to you.
So I think that's actually our entire list of things. Which when we first looked at them, it seemed like an enormous amount of things.
A lot of shit, yeah.
We went through all of them. We got through all of it.
Now you guys know the kind of shit that I read every single day.
Well, we both do. Yeah.
When I do videos, yeah. It's like
we both
fucking
do. Come on now. We both do.
At least every day I link a video to Aiden just like, oh my god, look how fucking dumb this gets, and then every day I think like it cannot get any worse, and they're like, oh yeah, it is.
It always does.
You have literal morons who think like the worst thing that is going to happen to the United States is another a while. It's like, fucking hell, these people are insane, deranged morons.
Well,
and I wish we were joking.
No, we're not. We've gone through everything. Is there anything else you want to add? Because I think we're gonna head out. Then we've gone through a whole thing.
Long live the monarch.
Well, yeah, long live the monarch. But we'll talk more about that later. By the way, guys, if you want to support, there is no working Streamlabs link. I think I did post it, but if it didn't work, it's because, as I explained earlier on, PayPal is being really weird towards me. I don't know why. It's bizarre. All of a sudden, PayPal decided to shut down my account. Gee, I wonder what that would be after literally 20 years. This PayPal account.
Because you're a dissident.
Oh, it's towards your account now. So, like, if you got did you get anything that I could?
Yeah, I got some idea.
Well, can I read them off?
I did read one of them actually.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, one of them was a question directed to us personally. And the other one was asking me, am I in favor of guillotines?
Okay. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. I
think there might have been one more that went through just now, but I'm not sure. Could you check? Because it's not working.
Let's also chat. Can you guess if I could guillotine someone right now, who would it be? I'll give you guys a hint. He looks like... no, I'll give you guys a hint. He looks like a garden gnome.
Keemstar? Why would you like to Keem?
No, I didn't say racist gnome. It's fairly easy once I say no, then it should be like a dead giveaway.
I don't know, I thought you were talking about Keemstar.
Oh, who the hell right now represents a garden gnome?
A Keemstar! I don't know.
An actual garden gnome.
Keemstar. Oh, Fauci?
There you go.
Thank you, Flying Butt Man. I just thought Keemstar. I can't think outside of that.
Senator Paul, you do not know what you're talking about.
Senator Paul, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, alright.
I'm amazed at Tony Blair, Shapiro. Why the hell would I? Okay,
we
Tony Blair is. Vosh is not a garden gnome.
Oh, well,
Vosh is just a fat bastard gremlin.
We obviously didn't know what you're talking about, but. Do we have anything left to go over? Do we have anything left to go over tonight?
No, but if there is any particular news story or dumb shit in the news that people want me to have a go at and just rant about, then anyone's feel free to give me a shout.
Well,
or post it in the chat, or even just do it in the stream afterwards. Just post something in the comment section and just
we'll
say,
do it next week.
Spoon, rant about this. Yeah.
Which will be next week at around 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30, at GMT time, UK time. That being said, I think that we're pretty cool. We didn't go like hyper long this time. I think we did a good job of not being super long. We went long enough.
I am the science, Fauci. Yeah.
We're the science.
When Senator Paul is attacking me, he's
Senator
really attacking
Paul,
science.
frankly, Senator
Fuck
Paul,
off, you arrogant dickhead.
Frankly, Senator Paul, I did not intend to put all those dogs into an environment where I put flies on their heads and kill them.
Which he did, by the way.
I will say I don't like that. I don't like that Rand Paul doesn't let him finish. I don't like that because it just looked kind of aggressive. Like, at least let him answer the question, then beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Well, I would say I think we got through all the media stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Spoon?
No, I'm good at the moment.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you guys for showing up so much. We managed to do it for 3.5 hours instead of 6 as we did last week.
One of these days, I would like to do a book, and I have a book in mind, and it's about the Bolshevik Revolution and who financed it.
I want to read through that book, the South African book that we both have. I think that would be interesting for me.
Wait, the South African book?
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Oh, with the South African lady?
Yeah.
We should maybe ask if she can come on the show.
It would be wonderful. It's Into the Cannibal's Pot, I think. It's the name of the book.
Yeah. Because I would be able to speak to her about, because we're both South Africans, so that does help.
Yeah, you can find your wife. I think she's married though, dude.
Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for putting my hopes up and then killing them like less than a second later.
You can't find your wife. Oh well. Anyway, guys. Thank you all so much for showing up. Hopefully next week we will have things set up a little bit better with the super chats if you want to bring those in. Also, I think we probably will have it made better. Maybe by that point we can get YouTube to just let us do super chats in general. That being said, thank you all so much for showing up. I really, really appreciate you guys. It's a lot for a new channel to have like this many people showing up for a live stream. It's kind of cool. Thank you guys. It's super awesome, actually. You got anything else to say, Spoon?
Take ivermectin and don't be a fat ass.
No,
yes.
Stop giving medical disinformation.
What? That's not medical disinformation.
I know. Well, it is according to the CDC, apparently.
Okay, well, Joe Rogan took it and he seems to be fine.
I know. You can't take that horse paste.
Make fun of Misha a bit more. Yes. His face to me is fascinating because he looks like he's missing an entire jawline. Like he looks like he has no lower jaw and it's just collapsed into just skin.
Yeah, true. Anywho, thanks guys for showing up. It's been a really fun time. Take care, and at least for me on Planet Volt,